Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Eagle the Raceway, night number one of the Malvern Bank High Bank Heist with the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series presented by FloRacing. As we have got, I'll be honest, more Lucas Oil Late Model drivers in the pit area than I think you and I expected, James. 37 entries on hand here this evening. They'll be joined by the IMCA Modifieds. Good to see some IMCA
Not
racing.
the IMCA stock cars, but the modifieds are just as good, right?
Tomorrow night, yes. Tomorrow night.
The stock cars tomorrow night. The commissioner is here himself. Welcome back to Nebraska. You and I were here last July. The heat index was 114. And that's an exaggeration. No, it wasn't.
No, it
because
was
that
not.
was real. And tonight it's about, 70, and the wind is blowing like 100 mile an hour.
It feels great. It's outstanding out there. I love it. But again, we've got a pit area full of race cars. Complete racing program tonight. A complete racing program tomorrow night. $50,000 to win on Saturday. It's an elbows up kind of night, James. Only 40 laps in tonight's late model feature. I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and take a look at your Lucas Oil track facts here and see exactly how things are going to transpire here at this racetrack that was built in 1963.
That was a good year.
Third mile, yes.
Very good year.
Was a goat born that year?
Oh, what a night, as Frankie Valli once sang. Oh, what a night, December 19... Well, it wasn't December 1963, but it was 1963. And you mentioned 37 cars. That is 7 drivers here that have never raced with the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series in their careers.
Oh, my.
Are here tonight. So that is awesome. And you mentioned Saturday night, $50,000 to win. $150,000 feature purse here on Saturday night. How about our schedule events, DJ?
Yeah, we'll see how we're going to get to that $10,000 to win main event. We'll start with Dirt Draft Hot Laps, followed by All-Star Performance Time Trials. 4 8-lap heat races here tonight. Those ought to be fun. We'll have 2 B mains, 10 laps each. And then a 40 lapper, as we talked about, $10,000 to win. Again, a brand new 3-day show this year. We ran here one time last year,
Right.
James. And it was Hudson O'Neal getting the win last year shortly after he returned to SSI Motorsports.
Well, he's undefeated at Marshalltown. He's 3-0 there. Can he go, 4-0 if he wins all 3 this week here at Eagle? And what a race that was last year. O'Neal and Ricky Thornton Jr. There you see down in the pit area. There's O'Neal, the winner in Marshalltown in the FloRacing Night in America, trying to work on the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series Championship point standings, trying to get into that Final 4 before the Carl Schwartz Dirt Track World Championship at Eldora in October.
What a race. What a race we had at Motown on Tuesday night, right?
That was good.
Yes, it was. And Ben and I, we did a little IMCA racing last night. We stopped in the mighty Stewart International Speedway, the Mike Van Genderen House of Power, and you know why I love Iowa. They ran 15 heat races in 44 minutes.
One sport mod drive, Marshalltown,
right.
Iowa. 5-2, whatever there
you go.
is.
There you go. Ben Shelton is the 3rd member of our broadcast team, and he is standing where I stood 1 year ago in the infield here at the Quarter Mile High Banks. Ben, welcome back to Eagle.
You know, it's been like 2012 the last time I was here, was the announcer for the American Sprint Car Series, and man, it has been too long. I love this place, and we've got the Malvern Bank High Bank Heist here. 3 nights of action, and rightfully named. We want to thank Jay Burdick with Malvern Bank, the title sponsor. But you see behind me, turn 3 and 4, this is a high bank racetrack. This makes for great slide jobs. This makes for great racing. This is a fun racetrack. It's a fast racetrack. Today, the track prep crew, though, they got their hands full as we got a little stuff falling out of the sky, maybe why I'm sneezing today. It's been very windy. It's been very sunny. We've had 40-mile-an-hour gusts, but they've got it looking really good, guys. And the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series competitors, they're chomping at the bit. IMC Modifieds, they're chomping at the bit. We're all glad to be back at Eagle Raceway, and on the backside of this break, we're going to inch closer to Dirt Draft Hot Laps. We're here at Eagle Raceway, the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. We'll be right back.
V-Land is proud to be an official partner of the 2023 Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. Check us out at www.vland.com for more info. See you at the races.
Hey race fans, have you set your Dirt Draft lineup yet? Dirt Draft is the fantasy racing app you can download right on your phone. Pick a team of 5 drivers within your $100,000 salary cap, and the better they do, the better you do. You earn points to spend in the Dirt Draft Speed Shop for all kinds of cool stuff, from t-shirts and hats, race tickets and pit passes, or even a season pass to FloRacing. New subscribers even get a free Dirt Draft t-shirt. Download the Dirt Draft app now from the Apple app or Google Play Store.
We're the leader in race fuels. We've been doing this since in the 60s.
We use our distillation tower, which is unique. No other race fuel companies do that in the world. We also test every single batch that goes out the door on over 15 different parameters that ensure the tune-up will be identical.
That consistency in the marketplace that makes us a premium brand.
Make the same stuff every time. We're pretty darn close to perfect.
The Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series is brought to you by Automotive Racing Products, ARP, quality first and made in the USA. By Big River Steel, developing sustainable steel made with the world's most advanced mini mill technologies. And by Lucas Oil, keep that engine alive. Welcome back to Eagle Raceway for night number 1 of the Malvern Bank High Bank Heist. The Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series presented by FloRacing. Our first 3-night weekend of the summer, James.
Oh, by the way, a special announcement. Starting on Saturday night will be the first night of the Crown Jewel Cup returns. We'll have more information on that later, but there's 9 races that pay $50,000 or more to win in the Lucas Oil Series. That will pay $15,000 to win, by the way, here in 2025. So we'll have more on that later, but that was announced in the drivers' meeting tonight. Of course, $50,000 to win on Saturday night here, and of course a record $75,000 to win next Saturday night for the Show Me 100. 78 degrees.
Yes. Well, I see an error. They forgot the 1 in front of the 17. I think it's 117.
And it's supposed to be windier tomorrow, but a beautiful weekend ahead. And
it's so windy. Earlier today, our very own Ben Shelton was debating on possibly wearing a hat for the first time in his career on a broadcast.
Okay, let's not take it shots at me. Honestly, down in the infield, there's pretty much no wind, and up top it has been. So the Kevin Rumley approved hair product is safe down here, guys. Fear not.
Yeah, the feather flags in turn 4 may not be so much, so you may have to go hold those up. By the way, another race tonight heading into next weekend, the Sunoco Race Fuels Road to Wheatland. Points leader will get $2,500. Right now, that's Ricky Thornton Jr., and the top 15 will split $16,000 next weekend at Wheatland. Speaking of the points, the Midwest Sheet Metal spoiler still is on the Ricky Thornton Jr. 20 RT Destin.
Sure is. He's got a 120-point advantage over Devin Moran and an extra 10 on Jonathan Davenport. Garrett Alberson right now continues to lay claim to that, what you'd call kind of the final transfer spot for that Big River Steel chase for the championship presented by ARP.
Look how close it's gotten, though, from 4th through, 7th right now.
8th, yeah. I mean, Dalton Wilson's not,
Wilson,
yeah. There's the top 10, and I don't think we have a graphic just yet, but you know who's leading the O'Reilly Auto Parts Rookie of the Year point standings.
It would be Daniel Hilzerbeck of Earlham, Iowa, currently leading that. That'll pay $20,000 to win this year, also $18,000 in contingencies. Second right now is Donald McIntosh. Third is Dan Ebert. And Ebert and McIntosh here for the very first time. Hilzerbeck has laps here. I believe it. Maybe I might not be right. He is not. I don't think he was here last year, right? Because he was recovering from a broken wrist.
Yes, so, that's right. That's right.
So a lot of first-timers. I mentioned 7 drivers making their Lucas Oil debut here tonight at Eagle.
Well, here are some of the upcoming events for the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. As we mentioned, we are here at Eagle for 2 more nights, $50,000 to win on Saturday. And then it's Show Me 100 weekend in Wheatland, Missouri at Lucas Oil Speedway next week. The Cowboy Classic, the tribute to Donna Billy Gibson, and this year $75,000 to win the Show Me, James, on Saturday. We're off for a couple weekends.
Not you and I.
That mic works
Ben.
better when you turn it on.
Right. We'll be at Eldora.
We will be at Eldora.
FloRacing Night in America on Wednesday night, then the Dirt Late Model Drain for 3 nights there. Then we'll be back in action, Smoky Mountain Speedway, Maryville. You got to say Maryville, like
Tennessee.
Maryville, Tennessee, Smoky Mountain. Then Lernerville, love the Thompson family and the Firecracker 100 DJ.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Atomic in Muskingum County then on July 4th and 5th.
Will you be there with me?
I will be at. I will not be at Atomic. I will be at Muskingum, Mo. Yes, I got to be at. I think you got my good friend Earl Kuhn Jr. making the trip over to Atomic on July 4th.
Well, you better be there July 5th because that's my birthday. So
I will.
We're going to celebrate in.
We'll never miss your birthday.
Zanesville, Ohio.
I will be at 34 on July 10. We'll all be at Wheatland on July 11th and 12th. I'll be back at Shelby County on July 15th, and then the band will be back together again at Huset's July 17, 18, and 19 for the Silver Dollar Nationals.
Looking forward to it. We drove by I-80 earlier today.
All right.
So sad. Yeah, I know. Kosiski family, they mean a lot to us, and of course they have the Kosiski family 53 at Shelby County, and a lot of their drivers to run the Malvern Bank East and West Series are with us here tonight, and they'll be joining us again coming up in the future.
So I rode in here today very confident with my attire. I got on my red Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. It's the staff shirts, actually. Rick Schwally gave us staff shirts. I reached out to you yesterday. You gave me the correct shirt to wear. It, in fact, was not red. It was gray. And I'm not colorblind. I mean, you've got a few, but
in all fairness, it was spelled G-R-E-Y. I always go G-R-A-Y.
Well,
but it was G-R-E-Y. But anyway, you end up with red. So
I ended up with red. Yeah, well, I should have just wore the FloRacing merchandise that I get from shopflowsports.tv.
You could have worn the hoodie.
Not today.
Not today.
Not today. You can don't make the same mistake I did. Get all the Flow merch. Get it all. James Essex's birthday is coming up. He doesn't have them all, so get him a birthday present here for July 5th. Shopflowsports.tv, or you could have scanned the QR code there that was on your TV. Pack trucks are on the speedway, rolling this racetrack in as we inch a little closer to Dirt Draft Hot Laps. Cars are in the staging lane. Don't go anywhere. You are watching the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, and you're watching it all live here on FloRacing. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Eagle Raceway in Eagle, Nebraska for night number 1 of the Malvern Bank High Bank Heist with the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series presented by FloRacing. And right on cue, we have got the first set of Dirt Draft Hot Laps. They're making their way on the track. I think they're going to roll this racetrack in just a little bit, James. And they are led out by the driver that comes into the event 7th in the series point standings in the Mark Richards Racing Rocket 1 Valvoline Swaber Cat Francis Petroff Towing sponsor. Number 1 out of New Berlin, Illinois. It's Brandon Shepard. Did I do it right?
Perfect, you did. 32 career wins Lucas Oil Series. Almost had number 33 last Saturday night at Fairbury. What a race that was. And
he will be followed by the driver of the number 6 out of Jupiter, Florida. That will be Clay Harris. Clay Harris, the next driver on the racetrack, the 23-year-old in the Wilkerson Farms Impact Electrical Services, Done Right Construction, National Fragile X Foundation, Boswell Oil sponsor Longhorn. That is Clay Harris.
Behind them, the best performance, Eric and Kelly Brock, the owner. On the Langenfelder Mechanical number 1 of Turbo, Tyler Erb. Tyler Erb out of New Waverly, Texas. First time here at Eagle Raceway. Of course, he has success. He won an I-80 Silver Dollar Nationals race once, not the finale. But there's the guy's biggest win was an I-80, and that's the biggest win of his career, $53,000 a few years ago, the 40B. He's in the Race Car Engineering Atomic Musical Group. 40B of Brandon, Florida is Kyle Bronson.
Behind him, out of Blairsville, Georgia, number 49 is going to be Superman Jonathan Davenport. I am relatively certain he's got Bill Stein shocks on that car after his
I was thinking Carrera earlier, but I think he's going for Bill Stein.
Pro ones. Jonathan Davenport. Yes, he was. Then the Lance and Darla Landers, Nutrient Ag Solutions, Dyna Grow Seed, ASC warranty sponsored. Number 49. Hey, there's the 28 running his first ever Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series race out of Otis, Oregon. That is Ian Whistler in the Vic Hill powered rocket, the Whistler Construction, Meredith Logging, all-purpose storage, Otis Market Fuel, Knotwood Construction sponsored. 28 for Ian Whistler.
About teammates with Jordan Grabowski here tonight.
Yes.
There's the Golden Beard, the Quick Supply Company, Truck Country, Infinity by Wells 16. The opening night winner, Golden Isles, back in January. That is Tyler Bruning. Tyler Bruning out of Decorah, Iowa, in car number 16.
And I believe one other driver on the track for this first wave of hot laps. Yeah,
Dusty Leonard.
There he is. Two other drivers.
Marysville, Kansas, in the car number 7.
And that's Marysville, not Marysville. Bryce Leonard Farm Bureau Financial Services sponsored entry. One other driver on the track, and it's that driver on your screen out of Manhattan, Kansas. In the number 18, it's Chase Younghands and the Younghands Discount Liquor, Younghands Ranches, Shop Quick, Bozark Ford, Sunoco Raceville, Sussy Construction, Paulson Rock Products sponsored. Number 18 is a rocket chassis for Chase Younghands.
I think we've got 4 18s. The only 18 missing, of course, is Shannon Babb, right?
That's right.
Not here tonight.
Yes, that's exactly right. Yes, and we do have 4 18s. Very good.
We do have 4 18s.
Very good.
Right there, Brandon Shepard, you mentioned 7th in points in his return to the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series here this season. First time here at Eagle, and again, well, I tell you, Bronson, biggest win, I-80 a couple of years ago, the Silver Dollar Nationals out of Brandon, Florida, running an independent schedule. He looks to join us next weekend for the Show Me 100. Glad to have him back with us on the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. Again, Jonathan Davenport, who was 3rd here last year behind Hudson O'Neill and Ricky Thornton Jr. At Nutrient Ag Solutions. That is a Cornet, again, under the hood of that car tonight, the Dyna Grow Seeds Nutrient Ag Solutions entry.
We just need Trevor Landrum or Matt Dooley here, right?
Trevor Landrum, that's right, or Steve Landrum.
Yes.
Get Eric Wells back.
There you go.
He's going to be back at some point.
That's right.
Could have been tonight, Eric. He could have been 1 for the thumb here tonight. He could have been number 5.
Well, here's the winner here a year ago. That'll be Hudson O'Neill, the winner on Tuesday night in Marshalltown, Iowa. Out of Martinsville, Indiana, the Wheeler Medals. SSI Motorsports Big River Steel entry. Currently 6th in the championship points. They've added Houchin's Insurance Group as a sponsor as well on that 71 of Hudson O'Neill.
There's the 99 of Devin Moran, the next driver on the racetrack, James. He comes into the event 2nd in the Lucas Oil. That is the wrong driver's list. I do know he's 2nd in the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series points. 7 wins this year for the 30-year-old of the Double Down Motorsports, Lazy Days RV, Big River Steel, C&W Trucking Red Oak Pub sponsored. Number 99 of Devin Moran. Behind him in the red 22, that's going to be Daniel Hilsebeck from Earlham, Iowa, in the Clements-powered Capital race car, the 22 Enterprises, Banning Chiropractic, Big Deal Car Care, Hillspec Farm sponsored, number 22.
Been running good lately. There's a 19M car. That'll be Spencer Hughes, the Mississippi driver, the Colton Miller JCM Motorsports, Clyburn Take Lines, Neon Bubbles Car Wash. Entry for Spencer Hughes. Spencer right now 12th in the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series championship points. And another first time with the Lucas Oil Series, Dustin, that is Colin Weinberger.
Yes, it is.
14S.
15 wins last year across 3 divisions for Colin Weinbarger out of Corbett, Oregon, and that Clements-powered Longhorn, the Schramm Brothers Excavating, Checker Flag Asphalt, Swan Island Sheet Metal Works sponsor number 14S. There's Corey Lawler. Tucked Corey back in the pit area a little earlier this evening. The 22-year-old out of Hanover, Pennsylvania, the Pro Power Longhorn. Sponsored by Poncho's Racing Products, PPC Lubricants, Kaufman's Auto Clinic, Sunoco Race Fuels, Driving Products. There's the 18S of Jesse Sobbing. James talked to Jesse in the pit area a little bit earlier on tonight as well out of Malvern, Iowa, in that Carl and Tracy Geschman-owned All Makes Collision Center, Hertz Sherwin-Williams sponsored number 18S for Jesse Sobbing.
Yeah, good to see him back. He's run a couple of times with Lucas Oil Series. Of course, had some back surgery last year. We saw him had that bad flip a few years ago, remember, at Houston. Yeah. There's the 38 car, his first time in Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series out of Orchid, California. Now living in Iowa, that is Dylan Thornton. Dylan Thornton in the Ricky and Brenda Kai 38T car, the Peterson Insurance entry. Glad to have him with us for the very first time in the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. So we're going to send Group 1 back out again, apparently.
So live timing, I've not seen it up in front of us yet, but it's going to be up here just, I believe, this next hot lap session as series officials making their way to the booth, and just as soon as it populates in front of us, we pass that along to you guys as well. Certainly want to thank the good folks at My Race Pass. Josh Holt with us here this evening from My Race Pass. Had the opportunity to catch up with him a little bit earlier. This is
home race for them.
Used to be kind of a home race for them. Yep, back when Josh called the Lincoln area home. So real good to see him and a few of the other good folks, Chris Krug and some others from My Race Pass with us here tonight. There is Clay Harris. Boy, you talk about a team, James, that they're working their tails off to try to turn some things around this year. That's 6 car. And Tyler Bruning, what a great run he had at Fairbury Saturday night.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Second until, the last lap of the race, last lap or 2 of the race.
Who wasn't in second?
Who wasn't in second? There's like 10, 12 drivers. Like I said, I saw that guy smoking in the infield. It's like, I'm going to take up smoking, and I've never smoked in my life.
Yeah.
Norris got me drinking, so it's like, heck, why not, right? No, I did not do either one of those.
The announcer is always thirsty. I know you.
It's just nothing but water.
We tease it well.
38, Brandon Shepard in that Rocket 1 Durham-powered Ford Valvoline. You see Daniel Hilson back there. He's been very impressive. His first full year in the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, not only leading the O'Reilly Yellow Pirates Rookie of the Year chase, but he's 11th in the championship points. He's in that capital car. Banning Chiropractic 22 graphics.
I'm glad we're back down to 1 red 22 this weekend. I love me some Drake Troutman. He'll be celebrating his 20th birthday tomorrow, but it makes my life a lot easier when we just have one. There's Spencer Hughes. I don't know if we got him earlier. The Colton Miller Racing, the JCM Motorsports, Yellowhammer Design and Construction, Clyburn Tank Lines, Lone Star Super Gas, Neon Bubbles Car Wash, sponsored for 19M. Thank you. 3 wins this year for Spencer Hughes out of Causeyville, Mississippi.
Devin Moran, Chuck Kimball. All these crews work hard. We all know that, and the guys, the drivers give them all credit, and it's tough, right? Yeah. This is hard. If it was easy, everybody'd be doing it, right? So
Chuck Kimball, the pride and joy of Rayland, Ohio.
Yes, Punisher race cars.
Yes, the Buckeye Local Panther was Chuck Kimball back in the day.
Nothing like the Jets, Union Local and Hauser Jets, though. I'm telling you what, man.
That's right. Hey, Colin Weinbarger, man, good to see him branching out and doing a little bit more super racing. Of course, he ran with us at the Wild West Shootout earlier this year and turned some heads, had some really good runs there. So Ben and I went to Stewart Speedway in Stewart, Iowa last night. Popped in to visit Mike Van Genderen for a regular show there, 118 cars, and we see a hauler pull in, and they pull off the side of the road, and we said, well, who's this? We're parking them clear out in the fields, and it was Colin Weinbarger. He stopped in just to watch the races as well. He's like, I've never been to Stewart, thought it was kind of cool, saw they had a show going on tonight, so that was very cool. You had some folks that were traveling from our Flow race at Marshalltown to the Lucas race here tonight to go out and support.
Right, and the only time you used to get to see those Oregon drivers when they would the Wild West Shootout, when it was in Arizona or New Mexico, or some of them came to Knoxville, remember, like John Duty and Justin Duty. That's where I first met them.
Yes.
And at Knoxville, Iowa, and you don't get to see them, you hear about them, and it's great to see them come out and run with the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. Hudson O'Neal 14.184 here in Dirt Draft Hot Laps. By the way, I think Jonathan Davenport leads the most hot laps this year, and it does pay in the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. They'll get a cash award at our awards banquet later this year. Don't forget, fans, go on our website, lucasdirt.com. Vote for the Deathridge Racing Opticians most popular driver. You can do through December the 1st. You can only vote once. So, again, lucasdirt.com. Again, thanks to Greg Deathridge, Deathridge Racing Opticians. And again, thanks to Brett Coleman, Coleman Farms, as well, for his sponsorship of the Sportsmanship of the Year award.
Better answer your phone, James. Somebody's calling. Y'all get this. It's Jake Neal on the racetrack in the Al Humphrey, number 6. Good to see Jake Neal with us out of Omaha. Scott Bailey Power playing under the hood of that rocket chassis. The Triple S Motorsports, Todd's Body and Glass Downtown Recycling. Select Auto sponsored number 6 for Jake Neal. Behind him, there's a snowdrift here tonight. It's going to be Blair Nodorf out of Renner, South Dakota, two-time defending Tri-State Series champion in that Clemens-powered rocket chassis. The Bargain Barn Tire Center, Asphalt Pros, Western Provisions. Grandpa Ben's Ranch-sponsored 76 for Renner, South Dakota's Blair Nodorf.
Also on the track, the 18D, the James Ratliff owned car, MGL Sales, Grant Lee Farms, JR Motor Sales Longhorn. That is Dalton Wilson. The Big Perm out of Fayetteville, North Carolina, currently 8th in the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series Championship points. He was here a year ago as well, so he does have laps here at Eagle. Innovative Community Solutions. My name, the 30 car, here with us for the first time in a late model, right? Jordan Grabowski. Jordan Grabowski in the 30G car, part of the Whistler team here tonight. And Jordan Grabowski in that Rocket Vic Hill Whistler construction entry out of Beatrice. I said it right?
You said
Beatrice,
it. That's
Nebraska.
Right. Absolutely. Good to see it. 10 wins this year already for Gray Bow. There is Dan Ebert out of Lakeshore, Minnesota, in that Durham-powered rocket chassis. The Minnesota Truck Headquarters, Collins Brothers Towing, AMSoil Shaw Trucking, sponsored number 60 for Dan Ebert. He'll be followed by the driver out of Alvo, Nebraska, the 35D, a Malvern Bank winner at Central Missouri just a couple weeks ago. Dylan Silman in the Scott Bailey-powered rocket chassis. The S&S Welding, Dirt Track Bank, Fox Shocks, Corn Grower, State Bank, Strike Farm, sponsor 35 for Dylan Silman. And I believe one other driver on the track for this hot lap. So 2 other drivers, James. There's Garrett Alberson in the Ken and Beth Roberts Racing number 58, 4th in the series points. And another Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series first timer out of Omaha, Nebraska, in the R-Cut Performance Machine MS Services, Kasiski Auto Parts, Daily Construction sponsored Black Diamond race car. That is Michael Morgan, Mike Morgan Jr. in the 71. And another one snuck out there.
Car out of Urbana, Missouri. Glad to have him here this weekend. In car number 8, right on Dalton Wilson, 14.201 in the 18D. Garrett Alberson, who set the track record here a year ago. Remember, they had not had a national touring race until last year for like 20 years, wasn't it? I think 2004 before last year. And Alberson setting the track record that had been held previously, I believe, by Scott Bloomquist. 13.292 is the track record here for late models. And again, Garrett Alberson did that 1 year ago in July.
Do you remember who held that for a few cars last year? Boom Briggs.
He did.
Boom went out and set the fast. Yes, he did.
There's the 07 car. Of course, he's in the Swartz car. Norfolk, Nebraska. That has been Sukup. Ben Sukup in the 07 car.
A new sports car, by the way.
Nice looking car.
Yes.
The fastest 07 since Kelly Bowen, got to be.
Yes.
Congratulations to Kelly Bowen. He'll be inducted into the National Dirt Late Hall of Fame at Florence Speedway coming up in August. And there's the son of another Hall of Famer, Jimmy Mars. That is Sam Mars. This is his Lucas Oil debut tonight. He has never run a Lucas Oil race in that Vite Disposal Deputy Enterprises 28 and be Customs Pro Power for Sam Mars out of Menominee, Wisconsin.
There's Carson Ferguson on your screen, the 24-year-old, and that Donald and Gina Bradshaw Paylor Motorsport, Tupac Grading Company, Coltman Farms, Spark Oil Company, Boone HVAC sponsored Longhorn, the 93, Carson Ferguson. He'll be followed by the 15. That's going to be Clay Stuckey out of Shreveport, Louisiana. Already a pair of wins this year for the driver of that Clemens-powered Black Diamond race car, the Lucas Oil Advanced Powder Coating, Laser Tech Fiber Cutting, Graphic Arts Express sponsored 15 for Clay Stuckey.
Behind him, the current points leader. He's, of course, sporting that Midway Sheba DeLorean spoiler. That is the 20RT Ricky Thornton Jr., the Ultimate Towing and Recovery. Hoker Trucking, 20RT for Bobby and Jessica Kohler, that team based in Mount Airy, North Carolina. Ricky Thornton Jr., 7 wins this year with the series. Behind him, the driver currently in second in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Rookie of the Year chase on the Billy Hicks, also team based in Mount Airy, North Carolina. That is the Coltman Farms Racing Hicks H&H Auto Sales entry of Donald McIntosh.
Brandon Overton out of Evans, Georgia. Good run with FloRacing Night in America at Marshalltown the other night. 3 wins this year for the driver out of Evans, Georgia. As we said, the Riggs Motorsports Longhorn Factory Team Heartmeat Hot Sauce. Napa Auto Parts on the side of the Garnto Southern 76 for Brandon Overton. There's Tad Pospischel in the number 04, the 4-time Malvern Bank Series champion. And that Window World, Dietz Wells and Pump, Signer Trucking, Source One Solution sponsored Longhorn for Tad Pospischel in the 04. As this is the final session of Dirt Draft Hot Laps. A couple other drivers snuck out there on us. Dan Battaglia might be the missing.
Gretna, Nebraska, the 45 car. Carson Ferguson right now 13.698.
It is not Dan Battaglia that is missing data.
Clay Stuckey out there, Lucas Oil 15 Black Diamond. If Brandon Overton, of course, our Heartbeat Hot Sauce Hot Pit, and Brandon Overton are sponsoring his car. Red habanero, pineapple. What do you think he would be, like a pineapple habanero now? Jalapeno? Blueberry habanero?
Ooh, that's my favorite.
Scorpion. What about the scorpion? And get your favorite Heartbeat Hot Sauce product. You go to heartbeathotsauce.com or on Amazon.
All right, well, that's it for Dirt Draft Hot Laps. Get those Dirt Draft fantasy lineups in. We're going to step aside for a quick set of commercial breaks. When we come back, it will be time for All-Star Performance Time Trials Group A. You're watching the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series presented by FloRacing. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Eagle Raceway in Eagle, Nebraska. Night number 1 of the Malvern Bank High Bank Heist. A complete racing program tonight for the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series 40-lap main event, paying $10,000 to win. Also, IMCA Modifieds on hand here this evening. They're getting the car staged right now for All-Star Performance Time Trials. And James, maybe now would be a good time to set what I like to call your starter lineup for Dirt Draft.
Got to put them in before the heat races, DJ. Pick your top 5 for the night to get $100,000 in play money to mess with and pick your top 5 there. Each driver has a dollar value. Who thinks the highest rate is tonight? Thornton?
He is. One of them, yes. Hey, you know who? You know what I ought to start going is DJ's dogs. Like, who's the best, underdog pick? Jordan Grabowski, a former Eagle Track champ, multi-time IMCA national champ, sliding under the radar at like 18,500. That's DJ's dog of the night right there.
I like it. Not an underdog, but it's just a dog. I like it.
Dogs.
I like it. All right, coming up, we'll have All-Star Performance Time Trials. Again, thanks to Sunoco Race Fuels, Road to Wheatland. That'll conclude next Saturday night at Wheatland, Missouri. For the Show Me 100, the top 15 in points, they'll split $16,000. The points leader, which right now is Ricky Thornton Jr., $2,500. And we do that 4 times during the year. And again, the total payoff this year with point fund and bonuses for Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, a record $1,331,000. Tyler Brunning's up first in the 16. He's out of Decorah, Iowa. He's at the Quick Supply Company, Truck Country, Olson Explosive. Bruning Rock Products, Brown's Heavy Equipment. That is the Infinity by Wells Clements, followed by Clay Harris. He is in the Wilkerson Farms Impact Electrical Services, Done Right Construction, National Fragile X Foundation, United Cable Systems, 12 Kings Construction. That is a Longhorn, Durham, and Brandon Shepard, the Valvoline. Sorbert Calf Ranches, Franklin Enterprises, Petro Towing, Gunner Sunny, Sunoco, Ace Metalworks, Styles Marine, Rocket Pre-Owned, Rocket Durham, number 1.
First lap times going up for those drivers. Shep the time to beat very early, 13.702. Brunning's best lap, 1.4211. Second quick, Clay Harris. Third quick, 1.4215. And Brandon Shepard will have the early time to beat after the first trio of cars. James, 1.3.702.
Up next will be the 18. He comes to us out of Manhattan, Kansas, in the Gray Young Hands entry. That'll be Chase Young Hands. Chase Young Hands in the Bozard Ford out of St. Augustine, Florida. Otis Oil Company, Young Hands Motorsports, Sunoco. Young Hands Ranches, that's a Rocket Clements, followed by Ian Whistler in his Lucas Oil debut out of Otis, Oregon at 28. He's at the Rocket Vic Hill. Otis Market and Fueling, also Knotworks Construction, Merited Lodging, Whistler Construction, All-Purpose Storage, number 28W and Kyle Bronson. He's in the Atomic Music Group, Race Car Engineering, Borchers Equipment, Michael Lloyd, Hauling and Demolition, LTX Home Builders, Longhorn Clements for KBM of Brandon, 40B.
Tyler Bruning, second quick. Ian Whistler, fifth quick. Kyle Bronson is now second. Let's see what the last times look like for the 40B and the 18C. Let's see. Ian Whistler to second quick, James, 1.3841. Chase Young Hands third quick, 1.3894. Kyle Bronson fourth quick, 1.3970. Stand up, Otis, Oregon. Second quick, Ian Whistler right now, 1.3841 after 6.
Not bad at all. Up next will be the 7Ds out of Marysville, Kansas. That'll be Dusty Leonard, followed by the 10 out of Norfolk, Nebraska's Junior Coover. And the 1 out of New Waverly, Texas is Tyler Erb. Dusty Leonard, he's in the Bryce Leonard Farm Financial Services. 7D Longhorn, tailor-made performance. That's a Rocket Dargy, Junior Cooper, the Black Diamond Dargy, Norfolk Motor Company, Ken's Trailer Sales, Wing 10 Graphics, D&D Enterprises, Quality Siding and Roofing, and Tyler of the Langenfelder Mechanical, Roberts B, First Class Septic, Go Lithium, Sandow, Sunoco Race Fuels, Rocket Clements for best performance, number 1.
7th for Tyler Erb, 8th for Dusty Leonard, and Jonathan Davenport to the top of the leaderboard. James, 1.3670. Dusty Leonard, lap 2 better, 1.4693. He is 8th quick. Turbo's second lap time's a little better, but he's going to be 8th, 1.4.558. Ladies and gentlemen, you get a new quick time. Superman Jonathan Davenport with a 1.3.671 after 9 cars.
Davenport, the due to next loses. Donna Gross Seed, ASC Warranty, Mark Martin Automotive, Mega Plumbing in the Carolinas, Longhorn Cornet tonight. So Coover does not make an appearance out there. It'll be the 14S. It'll be Colin Weinbarger. He's out of Corporate Oregon and Longhorn Cornet, Swan Island Sheet Metal Works, Donna Frios, Skyline Ford, and Schramm Brothers Excavating, followed by Jarrett Getchman, right?
Close.
Council Bluffs, Iowa, right?
Yes.
All Makes Collision, Hertz, Thrifty Carbon, or Dollar Rent-A-Car, RSA Trucking, and Daniel Hilsebeck, the Banning Chiropractic, 22 Enterprises, Big Deal Car Care, Hilsebeck Farms, and Adam Snow Removal, Alley Auto Sales, Capital Clements, 22.
Hudson O'Neill also on the track, James, and he goes to the top of the leaderboard, defending winner at Eagle with a 1.3512. Hilsebeck is 7th. Weinbarger's best lap, 10th. Hilsebeck, second lap, not as good. Hudson O'Neal, second lap, not as good. Hudson O'Neal, though, at the time to beat now 1:3.513 after 12 cars in Group A.
O'Neal, the Big River Steel, Wheeler Metals, Marabani Company, Subsurface of Indiana, Sunoco, Bobcat of Batesville, Professional Concrete Cutting and Drilling, Westside Tractor, Dyno One Inc., O'Neal, Salvage and Recycling, Indiana, USSSA, Fastbiz Softball Bomb, and Tammy Burton. Up next should be the 18 of Jesse Saubing. He's out of Malvern, Iowa, the Hertz. Sherwin Williams, Rocket Pro Power, followed by 93 out of Hanover, Pennsylvania, Corey Lawler in the PVC Lubricants. Poncho's Racing Products, he's out of the Sales Longhorn Pro Power. And Spencer Hughes, he's at the JC Motorsports, Colt Miller, Rocket, J. Dickens, Yellowhammer Construction, Clyburn Take Lines, Neon Bubbles, Lone Star Supergas, Indiana, USSSA, Fastbiz Softball, 19M.
Corey Lawler going to be 8th quick on his first trip around. Spencer Hughes is 11th fastest his first time around. Checkered flag comes out for Jesse Saubing. His best lap is 13th, 14.547. Corey Lawler up 1 to 7th. Good lap, 1:3.987. And the second and final lap time for Spencer Hughes, not as good. He'll currently be 11th with a 1:4.221. James, 15 drivers have attempted a lap. Hudson O'Neal, Jonathan Davenport, Brandon Shepard, your top three. Ian Whistler, 4th.
2 more to go here in Group A. It'll be heats 1 and 2. It'll be the 99. Second in the points out of Dresden, Ohio. It'll be Devin Moran. The Roger Sellers, Double Down Motorsports, Big River Steel, Lazy Days RV, C&W Trucking, Bomac, Millwood Plumbing, Anthony's Pizza, Pee-wee's Record Service, McHugh Chrysler, Dodge Jeep Brand, Car Source Auto, Red Oak Pub, Refuel Wellness, Phillips CPA, Holland Haskell's 99, and Dylan Thornton. He's out of Belle Plaine, Iowa now. The Ricky and Brenda Kai and Dre Peterson Insurance, Kai Farms, Drake Excavating, Pit Crew Bar, Salty's Barbecue and Catering, Longhorn Cornet 3018.
Woo, Dilly, second quick. Good lap. Devin Moran, 5th quick. We'll see what they've got on lap number 2. Second time around for Devin Moran, not as good. 5th quick, 1:3.766. Does Dylan Thornton, no relation, have anything for Hudson O'Neal? He does not, but a good lap for the driver formerly out of Santa Maria, California, and that Ricky and Brenda Kai 38T, 1:3.610. And that should be a wrap on Group A, right, James? Junior
Yes, sir.
Cougar, Jarrett Geschman not getting a lap, or is Geschman still on his way out? No lap, that's it. So unofficially, Group A, Hudson O'Neal quickest with a 1:3.512. Dilly, second quick, 1:3.609. Jonathan Davenport, third, 1:3.670. Brandon Shepard, fourth, 1:3.702. If those lap times hold up, those will be your front row starters for this evening's first and second heat races. Real quick, James, worth mentioning, you might hear the last digit of my lap times might be off by 1 on the screen. The reason is I'm using the My Race Pass app. I'm using a direct feed into that, and that actually goes out 4 digits while it's actually rounding now. It actually rounds up or down as needed to the graphic that you see on your screen.
So O'Neal will be on the pole of heat number 1. Davenport will be in the outside of row 1. Then heat number 2 will have Dylan Thornton on the pole and Brandon Shepard on the outside. So the winner of heat number 1 will be on the Victory Fuel pole here tonight. So O'Neal trying to go back-to-back here at Eagle.
You almost called it factory fuel.
Almost.
I could use a Victory Fuel right now.
Absolutely. Group B is coming up. These will be heats 3 and 4 here tonight at Eagle. Led up by the 35D, it'll be Dylan Silman. He's out of Alvo, Nebraska. The SNS Welding, Dirt Track Bank, Corn Grower State Bank, Fox Racing Shock, Strike Farms, Rocket, Scott Bailey. Followed by a driver making his Lucas Oil debut tonight, the modified hot shoe out of Beatrice, Nebraska's Jordan Grabowski. He's in the Rocket, Vic Hill, Whistler Construction, All-Purpose Storage. And the 58th, the current track record holder here, out of Las Cruces, New Mexico, is Garrett Alberson. Garrett Alberson and Low Voltage Solutions, Mesilla Valley Transportation. Sunoco Race Fuels, Romer Machine, Titan Racing Products, Dickey's Doghouse, Cheap Cars, Nutrient Solutions, Bill Sports Shop, Done Right TV, Longhorn Clements for Ken and Beth Roberts. So the time to beat overall, 13.513. So that's 10 bonus points in Group A. Goes to Hudson O'Neal. The nose could come into play here at the year end. Again, as we head to Carl Schwartz Dirt Track World Championship at Eldora Speedway, tickets on sale now. Tickets and camping on sale at EldoraSpeedway.com.
An official lap for Hudson O'Neal with the 4th digit, James, 1:3.5125. Ben?
How about Dylan Thornton? He's the only driver to win the IMCA Super Nationals in 3 different divisions. And hey, maybe tonight his first ever Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series win. All-Star Performance qualifying in Group B underway.
Well, Thornton has gone to victory lane 49 times. It would be the first.
Dylan, no relation.
No relation.
Not at all.
93 different drivers have won a Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series race over the last 21 years. So we'll see if we have a new one tonight. Dylan Silman, he has never won. He's in that red number 35, Alvo, Nebraska. Jordan Grabowski, Beatrice, Nebraska. And Garrett Alberson, Los Cruces, New Mexico. Their first laps of the night here at All-Star Performance Time Trials.
Dylan Silman 1.3973 his first time around. Jordan Grabowski 1.4261. And Garrett Alberson's first lap. Good lap. That's the fastest lap of the night, James. 1.3.408 for Garrett Alberson. Second trip around for Dylan Silman, not as good. Grabowski's second lap a little better. Third, 1.4.137. But Garrett Alberson with the time to beat, 1.3.4088 for Garrett Alberson. And that is quickest overall in All-Star Performance Time Trials.
Up next will be the 76. He comes to us out of Renner, South Dakota. That'll be Blair Nodorf. Followed by the 71 in his Lucas Oil debut tonight out of Omaha, Nebraska. That is Michael Morton. And the 18D out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. That is Dalton Wilson. And the 18D, Blair Nodorf. He is in the Troy Nodorf Bargain Barn Tire Center, Grandpa Ben's Ranch, Western Provisions, KDD, Maloney Realty, Asphalt Pro, Slicker Graphics, Hal Plumbing, Heating. It's a Rocket Clements, Morton in the Black Diamond, R-Cut Performance Machine, MS Service, Daily Construction, and Wilson, the Grant Lake Farms, MGL Sales, the Auto Outlet, Innovative Community Solutions, Longhorn Clements.
Third, fourth, and sixth rows, 3. Snowdrift third. He goes up to second. Best lap, 1.3.409. Morton takes the checkered flag. And he pulled off. It'll be the 18D of Dalton Wilson sliding in there. His best lap, fourth quick, 1.4131. Michael Morton's best lap, sixth quick, 1.5566. After 6 cars, Garrett Alberson, the time to beat, 1.3.408.
Dan Ebert comes up next. First time here, Lakeshore, Minnesota. First time with Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. He's currently third in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Rookie of the Year Chase. The Collins Brothers Towing, Minnesota Truck Headquarters, Woody's Racing, Christensen Group, Rocket Durham, Dylan McCowan, the Infinity by Wells, Scott Bailey, Sonic America's Drive-In, Pomeroy Service, BLC Construction, Mel Hamilton Ford, and Jake Neal in the Alan Laurie Humphrey, Rocket Scott Bailey, Todd's Body and Glass, Joyce Economics, Prevost Racing, Downtown Recycling, number 6.
Dylan McCowan is 7th. Dan Ebert is 4th. Jake Neal is 8th, their first time around. Checkered flag in the air. Dan Ebert, good lap. Third quick, James, good lap. 1.3440. Dylan McCowan now goes 4th quick with a 1.3.933, and Jake Neal with a 1.4.199. Good enough for 8th fastest. So Dan Ebert 3rd, Dylan McCowan 4th now after 9 cars.
Up next will be the 93 car. Comes to us out of Lincoln to North Carolina. That'll be Carson Ferguson. He's in the Hoopaw Grading Company. Live Oak Aesthetic and Family Dentistry. Coleman Farms Racing. Sparks Oil. Buddy's Automotive. Brand Ben Trucking. Boone HVAC. Solidify Concrete. Longhorn Cornet. Followed by Ben Sukup out of Norfolk, Nebraska. The Swartz Pro Power. Power Sports Nation. First Citizens Bank. Spud Trucking. Spud Stowing Range Adventures. National Auto Sales. Edwin Ricky Thorne Jr. The Kohler Motorsports. Longhorn Clements. Hooker Trucking. Knights Companies. Coleman Farms Racing. Ultimate Towing and Recovery. Elite Ready Mix, Capital Waste, Sunoco Race Fuels, number 20 RT.
Carson Ferguson 4th quick. Ben Sukup is 10th quick, and now Ricky Thornton Jr. goes 4th quick on lap number 1. Lap number 2 for Carson Ferguson, 5th quick. 1.3.585 is his best lap. Second lap time for Ben Sukup. Good lap, 6th quick, 1.3.894. Ricky Thornton Jr. improves on lap 2, but he stays 4th with a 1.3.485. So RTJ 4th, Carson Ferguson 5th, Ben Sukup, good lap 6th. They all still trail Garrett Alberson's time of 1.3.4088.
Up next, the driver currently second in O'Reilly Auto Parts Rookie of the Year Chase, Dawsonville, Georgia, the home of the 79 car. That'll be Donald McIntosh and the Billy Hicks Racing. H&H Auto Sales, Coleman Farms Racing, No Body Walks, NC.com, Longhorn Clements, followed by the 15 out of Shreveport, Louisiana, the Black Diamond Clements. It'll be Clay Stuckey, Clayton Stuckey's at the Lucas Oil, Advanced Powder Coating, Graphic Arts Express, RV Collision Repair and Auto, FiberTech Laser Cutting, Mooring Transit, 15, followed by Dan Battaglia out of Gretna, Nebraska, in 45. He's in the Customs. Assassin Racing Engines entry, AJ Stumpy's Custom Cranes, and Outlaw Customs 45 of Dan Battaglia.
Yeah, we got it. Donald McIntosh going to be 6th quick. Clay Stuckey will trip the trigger, now 6th fastest. And Dan Battaglia comes across the line 14th quick. Lap number 2 for the driver out of Dawsonville, Georgia, Donald McIntosh, 7th quick, best lap 1:37.25. Clay Stuckey's best lap, 6th quick, 1:3.693. And Gretna, Nebraska's Dan Battaglia going to check in 14th fastest with a 1:4.767. James, just 3 drivers left to qualify in Group B. They're all gunning for Garrett Alberson's lap of 1:3.4088.
Currently 5th in the Lucas Oil points. It'll be the 76 out of Evans, Georgia. It'll be Brandon Overton. He's in the Riggs Motorsports Factory team car. Heartbeat Hot Sauce, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Dude Wipes, UNOA, Triff USA, US, Napa Auto Parts, Garnto Southern Longhorn, Clements, by the way, Sam Mars, out of Menominee, Wisconsin, the MB Customs Pro Power, Vite Disposal, Deputy Enterprises, Mike Sale Insurance, TL Sins, Shackleton Tree Service, Mid-States Hydraulics 28, and Tad Pospischel out of Norfolk, Nebraska, the Longhorn Scott Bailey, One Source Solutions, Deeds Well and Pumps, Tecasa, Mexican Restaurant, Window World, Signor Trucking, TB and Company, Carpentry Services, 04.
Best lap for Brandon Overton, 3rd quick, that's lap 2, good lap, James, 1:3.437. Sammy Mars, best lap, good enough for 9th quick, a 1:3.726. And the best lap time for Tad Pospischel is going to be good enough for 13th fastest, a 1:4.068. So that is unofficially a wrap on All-Star Performance Time Trials here this evening. The fastest driver in Group B and the quickest overall with a lap of 1:3.4088 is going to be Las Cruces, New Mexico's Garrett Alberson. Again, you see the lap times tied up there. Alberson with a 1:3.4088. Blair Nodorf, let me see what that was on that 4th digit for Snowdrip, a 1:3.4090. Wow, 2/10,000ths of a second difference there, Dan. Then it was Brandon Overton, 3rd quick, Dan Ebert, 4th quick. Those 4 drivers will start in the front row of heat races 3 and 4, coming up a little bit later on here tonight. And Garrett Alberson is going to make his way out on the front straightaway to be presented the All-Star Performance Fast Time Award here this evening. So it'll be Garrett Alberson and Brandon Overton on the front row of Coolett Thermotech heat race number 3 tonight. And as long as those times hold up, Blair Nodorf and Dan Ebert starting in the front row of Simpson Race Products heat race number 4. Ben Shelton, Garrett Alberson has made his way to the front straightaway.
That's right. Tonight, round 18 of 2025 for the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series and your All-Star Performance Fast Qualifier. How about it, race fans? Garrett Alberson. Garrett, your 3rd All-Star Performance Fast Qualifier Award of the year. Not the track record you had last year, but still, how did you go out in Group B and set the fastest time overall?
So far, it seems like B is not a bad place to be. Kind of widens out, getting into 3 and gives you a better angle. I really didn't think I did 3 and 4 all that pretty that first lap. So I think 1 and 2 probably saved us a little bit right there. But now I'm happy to be back. It's a really cool racetrack, cool fans, and yeah, see what we can do.
What's your favorite thing about this place?
It's just tight, elbows up. It's got a lot of banking and stuff like that. So it's gonna be really interesting to see how it transitions right there. That bottom felt a little dominant, but I know once it kind of moves over that little banking thing, it's gonna get pretty interesting.
Race fans, how about it? Garrett Alberson out of Las Cruces, New Mexico, tonight's All-Star Performance Fast Qualifier. And he's going to get his picture taken down here. We're going to step aside, thanks to marketing partners. When we come back, we'll continue here, the Malvern Bank High Bank Heist. And you're either in the house or watching it all on FloRacing.
Welcome back to America's home track, Eagle Raceway, your Nebraska's best lawn and landscape modifieds making their way out for their hot lap session. These are IMCA modifieds. First one on your screen, the racer Ricky Steffen coming to you out of South Sioux City, Nebraska in the number 25 machine. And right behind him, we're seeing the number 96 out of Beatrice, that is out of Bates City, Missouri. That is Cody Brill in the 96B. That's another car out there. Also the 13J, Jared Dieterding, one of the weekly competitors, coming just down the road out of Lincoln, Nebraska. Jared Dieterding in the 13J machine. Dan Jackson in that beautiful white A&M Contracting Woodhouse Auto Family 3 machine. Dan Jackson rolling out of Ceresco, Nebraska, crossing the flag stand at the start-finish line. Right behind him, you're seeing the 5H of Sean Hine. Sean Hine, a former competitor in the Sport Compact class years ago. After we moved them on down the road and picked up the stock car class, Sean moved up into the modifieds, and good to see him out competition tonight. Coming out of Beatrice, Nebraska, the 5H of Sean Hine, and right behind him, a former track champion in the Sport Modified class, now racing in the modifieds. It is the 40 of Sean Harker, coming out of Nebraska City, Nebraska. Also out there, a rookie competitor in the 2T machine, Cameron Thompson out of Fremont, Nebraska. Cameron Thompson in the 2T machine. Son of Nate Thompson, weekly competitor in the stock cars and modified division. Also out there, going down the backstretch, crossing the One Badass Racetrack sign, the number 60 machine, a rookie in the modified class, coming to you from Fairbury, Nebraska. It is the, out of Columbus. Nope, cross it up again. Beatrice, Nebraska, the 60 of Adam Armstrong. Looks like the 74 machine having some issues on his hot lap session. North Platte, Nebraska's Dwayne Coleman in the 74 hit the wall, brought out the caution, and we were back at it again. Another car out there out of Beatrice. Looks like it's the 96 machine. That is the junior jet of Jackson Sadoff, son of legendary Nebraska driver Johnny Sadoff. We'll see Johnny in the next hot lap session. So far, fastest times out there in hot lap session number 1. Cody Brill just moved up to the top of the charts. Him and Ricky Steffen going at it back and forth. Adam Armstrong goes third. 16.526 for Adam Armstrong. Cody Brill running a 16.391 on his hot lap session. Cody Brill again in the 96B machine out of Bates City, Missouri. First time out at Eagle Raceway this season. Racer Ricky Steffen now runs a faster lap, 16.124. So Ricky Steffen in the 25 machine moving up to the top of the charts on your hot laps. Sean Harker moving up to second in the 40 machine. Like I mentioned, former track champion in the Sport Modified division, moved up into the Modifieds and has been slowly getting a handle on that 40 machine. Picked up several feature wins in weekly competition at Eagle Raceway last year. Caden Murray waving the checkered flag on hot lap session number 1 of your Nebraska's best lawn and landscape modifieds. And it will end with Ricky Steffen, 16.124 for your fast time in hot lap session number 1. Hot lap session number 2 sitting in the Midwest Racing Performance Valco Racing Wheels staging area. 25 modifieds checked in for tonight, and as my weekly cohort in the announcer's booth pointed out, best car count we've seen in the modified division so far this year at any track in the Midwest. It's great racing. They're just few and far between. First car rolling out is the 60, the fourth of his generation of racers, Anthony Roth in the 60, the 4th machine out of Columbus, Nebraska. Then you've got the 3J coming to you out of Nebraska City. That is Jeremy Baker in the Baker Boys Racing number 3J. Crossing the start-finish line now in the 1Z. That is one of my favorite competitors, Stormin Norman Ziegenbein, rolling down from Lincoln, Nebraska. He's in the 1Z machine. Then you've got the 1 coming to you from down the road in my hometown, Josh Most out of Red Oak, Iowa, part of the Edge chassis, actually owner of the Edge chassis, racing tonight for the first time in 2025 at Eagle Raceway in the 1 machine. Right behind him in the red, number 21T out of Ashland, that is Tyler Haar. It's a father-son duo going to be in competition tonight. Tyler in the red 21T out of Ashland. And behind him in the black number flat 21, that is father Tracy Haar, oddly enough, also out of Ashland. Weird how that works. Picked up the feature win just a couple of weeks ago. The number 27 of Clint Homan, crossing through turns 3 and 4.
Dan, did I see Anthony Roth dabbling in a late model earlier this year, maybe over at Abe's US 30, is that right?
You did.
How about that?
Did. Yeah, Anthony kind of spreading his wings a little bit, got an opportunity to race a late model, and like he told us on our podcast, just can't quite pass up the opportunity when somebody else is going to give you a ride. So one of the rare opportunities we've seen him in a modified this year. He is a very dominant competitor when he raced here weekly a few years ago. Looking at your fast times, that is Anthony Roth in the 60-4th. On the top of the charts, 16.172, just a tick off of Ricky Steffen in hot lap session number 1. Clinton Homan going second, 16.576. And the Waterman, Adam Wasserman, in the 41A, making his rookie season in the modifieds out of Fairbury, Nebraska. He's in the 41A. That is Adam Wasserman going 3rd quickest. Also out there on the 12 machine, that is the Reed Payne out of Idaho Falls. Reed Payne in the number 12 machine. Good battle with the 21T Tyler Haar. Josh Most has gone to the top of the time charts, or the time charts, 15.854. Josh Most, fastest now in both hot lap sessions, 15.854, and I believe he's the first one to get down into the 15-second lap. Adam Wasserman up to 2nd, and Anthony Roth in 3rd. So hot lap session number 2 coming to a close for your Nebraska's Best Lawn and Landscape Modifieds.
Josh Most, there's one of those guys that you just never know what you're going to see him behind the wheel of. He may be at the Tulsa Shootout and Chili Bowl. He could step in a B mod or a sport mod. He could be behind the wheel of a modified, and he wins in about everything that he steps behind.
He does. It's fun to me because I grew up with him, and then we kind of lost touch after high school, and then reconnected in the racing world. And the guy I grew up with and the guy that sits behind the wheel are two totally different people. But you get that a lot with some of these racers.
Maybe you're the one that's changed, Dan.
I'm just kidding. That's possible. It's probable. Lord knows I've gotten a little thicker.
All right, well, we are going to step aside as that wraps up hot laps for the IMCA Modifieds. Opening ceremonies are next on the agenda. That's coming up here in just about 11 minutes. You're watching the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, and you're watching it all live here on FloRacing.
We showed the world what it means to go big. Combining mini mill technology with industry-leading talent, producing steel our customers need in an environmentally responsible way. Now, we're going even bigger. Big River Steel is building a second, highly sustainable and technologically advanced steel mill, allowing us to deliver even more of the sustainable steel needed to solve the challenges of tomorrow without sacrificing performance today. That's big picture steel.
The Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series is back big for 2025 as the Big River Steel Chase for the championship presented by ARP kicks off in January and concludes at the season finale at Eldora Speedway in October. Drivers will battle for over $1.3 million, with $250,000 awarded to the series champion at Eldora Speedway. Don't miss the action all season.
ARP, the ultimate fasteners for racing in the dirt. With high horsepower demands, ARP delivers maximum clamping force and performance. When failure on the dirt is not an option, it's ARP-bolts.com.
Turn your passion into a career at the University of Northwestern Ohio. From high performance to automotive, diesel, and everything in between, you'll find a degree that will get you a job.
Students that go through our programs have fantastic experiences and they come out getting good job placements.
70% hands-on, no out-of-state tuition, and accredited degrees in trades that are in high demand all across the country.
10 out of 10. If you even think this is the right place for you, you better just go.
Learn more about your future at unoh.edu.
This is what you save your lunch money for.
Welcome to the High Limit Room.
The Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series is brought to you by Big River Steel, developing sustainable steel made with the world's most advanced mini mill technologies. By Lucas Oil, keep that engine alive. And by ARP, quality first and made in the USA. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to night number 1 of the Malvern Bank High Bank Heist here at the high banks of Eagle Raceway in Eagle, Nebraska, with the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series presented by FloRacing. It is 7:28 p.m. local time, and that means it is time to get underway with this evening's opening ceremonies. So without further ado, we'll ask you if you are able to please rise. And gentlemen, remove your caps. First, for this evening's invocation delivered by track announcer Dan Taylor.
Thank you very much. First and foremost, as we do every Saturday night, we need to thank the finest safety team in the business, the Four Corners Fire and Safety Team, lined up in red along the front stretch. Eagle Raceway, give them a big round of applause. They're the ones keeping our drivers safe tonight. Big thanks to the Bag and Tag Tow crew, the 9 Lines EMS crew, and of course our flagman Caden Murray. Thanks everybody for all their efforts keeping America's home track running. Lord, we ask your blessings on the races we are about to begin and on the drivers who will challenge each other on the speedway tonight. Watch over them and let them be enriched by the challenge. Guide their hands and hearts and lead them safely to the checkered flag as you lead us all in our journey towards life's checkered flag. And all his children said, amen.
Amen. Dan, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask you to please remain standing with your headgear removed as we honor the United States of America with the playing of the Star-Spangled Banner. Very much. Eagle Raceway, are you ready to get started with night number 1 of the Malvern Bank High Bank Heist? I love the folks here at Eagle, James. They always a fun crowd, always a knowledgeable crowd, and they are about to see a showcase here tonight as we have got the first heat for the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series.
The legendary Steve Miller, right? Fly like an eagle.
That's right.
Are you ready, brother? Let's go.
Let's go. Let's do it. Penske Shocks Heat 1. Quick qualifier in Group A, Hudson O'Neill. On the pole out of Martinsville, Indiana, the 71 on his outside. Out of Blairsville, Georgia, the 49, Superman Jonathan Davenport.
Row 2, the driver currently second to the championship points. It'll be Devin Moran, the 99 car out of Dresden, Ohio. And Chase Younghands back with us for the first time since Ocala. He's at the 18Cs out of Manhattan, Kansas.
Good qualifying effort for Hanover, Pennsylvania's Corey Lawler in the inside of row 3 in the 93. And on his outside, out of Decorah, Iowa in the 16, Fear the Beard, Tyler Bruning.
Mississippi Spencer Hughes, 12th of the points of the 19M. And on the outside, back with the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. It's been a few years. He's out of Malvern, Iowa with the 18 of Jesse Sobbing.
And your final 2 starters out of Marysville, Kansas in the 7B. That's Dusty Leonard on his outside. Jarrett Geschman out of Council Bluffs, Iowa in the 18J in all. James,
Guess who's driving the pace truck tonight? The race car engineering pace truck by the legendary Wayne Castleberry.
Oh, I was going to say Earl Pearson.
Is it on the bumper? I assume.
His Jacksonville neighbor.
His Jacksonville neighbor. So Hudson O'Neill, the winner here, as you mentioned, the fastest qualifier here in Group A. He gets 10 bonus points. Garrett Alberson, fastest overall. In Group B, he gets 10 bonus points.
That's right.
So, going to be a dandy. They had a dandy here last year. First time in 20 years for a National Touring Series here 1 year ago. And 3 nights of racing, $10,000 to win tomorrow night, a full showing, and $50,000 to win here on Saturday night. $150,000 feature purse. And then we head next weekend to the Show Me State of Missouri. The Cowboy Classic on Thursday. The salute to Don and Billy Gibson in a record $75,000 to win next Saturday night at Lucas Oil Speedway. Camping and tickets still available. Go to lucasoilspeedway.com.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it, man.
Let's do it. By the way, only one support class next week, and that's on Thursday night, and that's a makeup modified race.
Yes, absolutely, as the green flag is out, and we are racing heat race number 1 for the Lucas Oil Late Model Series presented by, well, the series presented by the FloRacing. It's
presented by FloRacing at the new track starts on. We got a lap in. O'Neill leads Davenport. You got to remember, you lose track once in a while, right, of which series you are at.
Working
both all great
too many
here
of
on
them.
FloRacing, all the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series race off of turn 4. Hudson O'Neill has the lead at 71. That Jason Durham turning the wrenches on that car down the back straightaway. Of course, his crew along with him include, of course, Riley Sheedy, right?
Yes.
You know Riley Sheedy.
I do know Riley
Kyle
Sheedy.
Daly also on the crew. Give them a shout out as well.
Yeah, Jason Durham. Yep, turning the wrenches on that number 71.
How about Corey Lawler?
He's in the final transfer right now. That 93, Tyler Bruning, Chase Younghands all on the outside looking in. That 93 looking good. Here comes the Golden Beard. Trying to close in. James 4 laps down, 4 to go.
Out of Decorai with that Infinity by Wells right now. 1 spot out of making it. Hudson O'Neill about with the lead right here, looking good down the main straightaway. 5 down, 3 to go. Gets 4 heat races, 8 laps apiece, top 4 transfer. So O'Neill looking for the victory fuel pole here tonight. Well, he's undefeated in Marshalltown. Try to go undefeated here at Eagle. Hey, it could happen, right?
It could happen.
Very well happen this week.
Less than 2 to go, and he's looking good. James got a 1.1 second advantage over Jonathan Davenport. He comes around and is going to pick up that Barron's Performance 1 lap to go.
Big lead right now. Davenport, Moran, Lawler hanging on for 4th. Corey Lawler, he's taken his lumps over the last year in the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. Right now in a transfer spot as Hudson O'Neill takes the checkers first here in Heat 1, DJ.
Jonathan Davenport second. Third's going to be Devin Moran, and Corey Lawler is going to race his way into that final transfer spot, followed by Tyler Bruning, Chase Younghand, Spencer Hughes, Dusty Leonard, and Jesse Sobbing pulled off. So it's Corey Lawler 4th, Devin Moran 3rd, Jonathan Davenport 2nd, and the winner of Penske Shocks Heat Race number 1 is going to be the driver out of Martinsville, Indiana, in the SSI Motorsports Professional Concrete Cutting and Drilling, Wheeler Metals, Merrill Bonding, Big River Steel, O'Neill Salvage and Recycling, Dyno One Incorporated, Westside Tractor Sales, sponsored number 71. How about it for the new deal? Hudson O'Neill, as he's going to pull up into the scale area while they are checking the droop and checking weight. Let's go ahead and give you the starting lineup, James, for heat race number 2.
It'll be 8 laps, top 4 transfer. The winner starts inside row 2. And on the pole will be the 38. It is Lucas Oil debut tonight out of Orcutt, California, now living in Iowa. That is Dylan Thornton in the Ricky and Brenda Kai 38T. And on the outside, the driver, oh man, 1 lap short the other night. That is Brandon Shepard out of New Berlin, Illinois.
Second row back on the inside out of Otis, Oregon, in his Lucas Oil debut. Ian Whistler in the 28th on his outside out of Brandon, Florida, the 40B of Kyle Bronson.
Top rookie so far, Wiley Auto Parts Rookie of the Year Chase Daniel Hilseback out of Earlham, Iowa, and Clay Harris, the 6 out of Jupiter, Florida.
And your final 3 starters, Colin Weinberger in the 14 out of Corbett, Oregon, Tyler Erb in the 1 out of New Waverly, Texas, and Junior Cooper out of Norfolk, Nebraska. Going to round out the field in the 10. Let's send it down to Ben Shelton.
Hudson back at Eagle Raceway, a place you won at last year. Your first victory fuel pole of the year. What is it about this place that fits your driving style?
I don't know. Just got off to a good start last year and here tonight, and able to start up front in these heat races is the biggest thing. So happy to get a heat win. Start on the front row for a change instead of having to pass some cars. So hopefully we can hang on to it and have a good rest of the night.
Guys, he picked up $20,000 on Tuesday night at Marshalltown Speedway. He'll go after his 30th career Lucas Oil win here tonight. And in 18 events, we have had 9 different victory fuel pole sitters. Tonight, Hudson O'Neill, that was his 5th heat race win of the year, the 2023 champion. And guys, who's going to start 3rd? We're going to know at the end of this one, whoever can win heat race number 2, presented by Summit Racing.
Indeed, Summit Racing heat race number 2. And How about some of the faces up near the front of this one, James? There
Always
on your
good.
Screen. Yes.
Dylan Thornton, Ian Whistler. Of course, we've got Jordan Grabowski here tonight. Jesse Sobbing. Drivers that you hear in modified ranks, however. And Ian Whistler, of course, we're used to seeing him out at the Wild West Shootout, but travels over here to the mid part of the country. Teammates with Jordan Grabowski here this weekend, and a good qualifying run for him. Well, he raced number 2, brought to you by Summit Racing Equipment, the top 4 advance at the new Trinac Solutions Start Zone here at Eagle Raceway. Dustin Jarrett.
8 laps, top 4 transfer, and a good start for Dylan Thornton off into turns 1 and 2. Brandon Shepard going to tuck in line side by side for the 3rd spot. 40B, Kyle Bronson on the outside, going to take that spot away from Ian Whistler. Now here comes Clay Harris down to the inside at the end of lap number 1. Dilly.
Ricky and Brenda Kai, the car owner on the 38. Bronson to the outside. Bronson loves Nebraska. His biggest win came at the Silver Dollar Nationals. And we have a Coleman Farms Racing caution for the first time tonight. And it's for Tyler Erb in the 1 car. And he's got a left rear tire down, Ben Jones.
Yeah, that tire went down as soon as it went green. He could not get up to speed. He slowed out of 2 down the back straightaway. And they'll head around to the Heartbeat Hot Sauce Hot Pit. We'll see if they can get a fresh left rear on that race car. They're going to go to work on it, top of turn number 2.
No, tough break for Turbo there. He didn't get at the qualifying lap that he wanted either, James. But, one thing, Turbo, he's still 9th in the series point standings. He missed the race at Circle City, right? But he's still 9th in the series point standings right now. He's going to see how this weekend goes. And a very good chance we see him at the Show Me 100 next weekend.
Yeah, looking forward to that. 3 nights of racing there. Again, the only support class will be a modified makeup show on Thursday night. The rest of the weekend will be just Lucas Oil late model dirt series cars. Again, camping and tickets on sale, lucasoilspeedway.com. Got music, we've got all kinds of great stuff. Don't forget also the Hellraiser Jack's Pit Crew Challenge returns next year as well. And that's from the 18 that are locked in from Thursday and Friday night then.
Yeah, I think Gordy Gundaker's crew is still trying to get those tires back on there. Gordy will be waiting on us. Hey, how about Ian Whistler right now? 2 wins a year ago for the driver of the 28. We usually see him at the 82 at the Wild West Shootout. Both those wins came in a mod. He is trying to make his first ever Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series feature here tonight, as is the 14 back there, another frequent flyer from Oregon, Colin Weinberger. And we saw Justin Duty have a career run at Tuesday at Marshalltown. Those Oregon guys are getting better and better, and guys, it's really cool to see a few of them in the pit area here tonight at Eagle.
8 of the top 10 in the latest Dirt on Dirt poll are Lucas Oil regulars, so very impressive. If you're going to get better, DJ, you got to run against the best, right? And Dylan Thornton trying to make a name for himself here tonight. He would start inside row 2 if he can win the Summit Heat number 2 as we're back underway at the new Trinac Solutions Restart Zone.
Ben hit on it earlier. Dylan Thornton has won the Boone Super Nationals in a late model and an IMCA modified and a stock car. Now he's out front, and look at that, the killer. Kyle Bronson going to take that 2nd spot away from Brandon Shepard. James, 2 laps in the books, and here comes KD40.
He might be a Florida Gator. He may become a Nebraska Cornhusker here if he can win here tonight, as he's all over Thornton into turn 3. Shepard is right there. Good 3-car battle. Shepard on the bottom out of turn 4. They're side by side. By your nose is Bronson. I'll tell you what, we got a really good car in this race car engineering 40B car. We are rolling here tonight.
You did well. You did well. Here comes Bronson. They're trying to find a way around Dylan Thornton, your race leader. Good battle up front. Now Shep back down to the inside. Crossed flags. Well, they're virtually shown to the field. 4 down, 4 to go. For your race leader, Dylan Thornton. Here comes Shep back down to the inside.
It's reminiscent of last year's racing right here. Shepard's going to get the spot. Dylan Thornton, his first time with the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series in that Longhorn Cornette Peterson Insurance Kai Farms, now living in Belle Plaine, Iowa. As you see the top 3 here, and there's a battle here for that final transfer spot. Clay Harris and Daniel Hazelbeck.
Yeah, Clay, I tell you what, they've really been going at it. Colin Weinberger is right there as well. Now 2 laps to go, James. And boy, the red 22 of Hilsebeck trying to find a way around. Barron's Performance, 1 lap to go for Dylan Thornton.
Cody Summers probably smiling, isn't he? Right here. He's going to be in Cody's car for the dream down the back straightaway. His first time with the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. And Dylan Thornton is going to go to victory lane here at heat number 2 tonight at Eagle.
How about that? 2nd spot's going to go to Sheppy. 3rd going to go to Bronson, and Clay Harris holds off the 22 of Hilsebeck for the final transfer. Weinberger 6th, Whistler 7th, Turbo 8th, Junior Coover 9th. So Clay Harris finishes in that final transfer spot. Position number 4, 3rd to Kyle Bronson. 2nd goes to Brandon Shepard. Raise him up, Eagle. Dilly. Out of Orchid, California, originally, now out of Belle Plaine, Iowa, the Peterson Insurance, Kai Farms, Salty's Barbecue and Catering, Pit Crew Barbecue, DEA Hoker Trucking, Cornette Howard Longhorn, already 8 wins this year, 5 of them in a late model. Let's hear it for the 38T of Dylan Thornton. Let's go ahead and take a look at the starting lineup, James, for Coolett Thermotech Heat Race number 3. Pulling out on the racetrack, 8 laps, top 4 transfer. Garrett Alberson going to be on the pole in the 58. Outside of him, the 76 is Brandon Overton.
Current points leader will be Ricky Thornton Jr., the defending series champion. He's out of Chandler, Arizona. And Clay Stuckey, welcome him to the Lucas Oil Series tonight in the Lucas Oil 15 out of Shreveport, Louisiana.
Sammy Mars in the 28, inside row 3, and on his outside out of Urbana, Missouri, the 8 is Dylan McCowan.
And a trio of Nebraska drivers, Tad Pospisil out of Norfolk, Beatrice driver Jordan Grabowski, and Dan Battaglia, he's out of Gretna in 45.
And that is the lineup for Coolett Thermotech Heat Race number 3. Ben Shelton is in the infield, and he is going to grab a word with the winner of Summit Racing Heat Race number 2, Dylan Thornton.
Dylan, if your life depended on it, could you stop smiling right now? Is there any chance after picking up a heat race win with Lucas Oil?
No, not at all. I mean, this stuff's tough. I mean, when you're starting in a heat race next to Brandon Shepard, you know, you got to know you got to do what you got to do. And, yeah, I guess make our night a little easier now. It's just 2 of us over there, and have a little time, see what we can do in this feature.
He's got a big smile on his face. He's going to start 3rd here tonight. How about it? Dylan Thornton, his first ever Lucas Oil Heat Race win, the 21st driver to get a Simpson Race Products Heat Race win in 2025. It's time for Coolett Thermotech Heat number 2. DJ James, we saw the big smile the other night on Justin Duty's face after he got a 4th place finish, his best ever national tour run. And when you see moments like that and you see Dylan Thornton smiling, that's what it's all about. And it is, I tell you what, the future of this sport, very bright with a lot of young talent coming up through the ranks.
Absolutely. We always say it, James, I never play favorites. Not at all. They're all car numbers out there on the track, but doggone it, sentimentally, it's cool to see someone like Dylan Thornton go out there and get himself a heat race win.
No doubt about it. And again, if you're out there watching, you live in Nebraska, Iowa, the Dakotas, come on out tomorrow night. It's all 3 shows, 3 different races this weekend. So nobody's locked in after tonight or tomorrow night. So come on out. All right, Garrett Alberson on the pole, the track record holder here. He was the overall fast qualifier again here tonight. Brandon Overton led laps at Fairbury. Trying to get his 2nd win of the year. It was at Circle City a few weeks ago. Thornton and Stuckey at the Nutrient Ag Solutions start zone. For the outside of the front row, the winner goes here at heat number 3, DJ.
And Garrett Alberson, the overall quick qualifier in All-Star Performance Time Trials here tonight. Brandon Overton looking a little better each week than Anthony Burroughs wrenched Longhorn Factory 1876, and Clay Stuckey, boy, he hopped through turns 3 and 4. Sammy Mars with nowhere to go. They go side by side, and we're going to have a Coltman Farms Racing caution as they got all bottled up over there, and we have got one car that is pointed up towards the outside wall, and I believe 2 cars. I did not see Dan Battaglia down there, and oh man, a lot of damage been to the 30 of Jordan Grabowski.
Yeah, tough break for him. Tad Pospisil, a flat left rear tire. He heads back to the pit area in the 0-4. Garrett Alberson leads the way, guys. Brandon Overton has picked up a lot of speed. That Anthony Burroughs wrench number 76 over the past few weeks in 2nd. In 3rd, Ricky Thornton Jr., but we talked about young talent. How about 4th on back with Clay Stuckey, Sam Mars, and Dylan McCowan, 3 up-and-coming drivers. And hard to believe this is Sammy Mars' first ever attempt at a Lucas Oil event.
Yeah, son of the Hall of Famer Jimmy Mars, who's here. Of course, Chris Mars, his uncle. So Grabowski, tough luck for him as we're checking for a replay on exactly what happened, and hopefully that's not the end of the weekend for By the way, all drivers are okay, DJ.
Yeah, and again, you hate that for Jordan Grabowski and for Dan Battaglia. As I got talked to.
Oh my.
Oh man, that is a hard hit for those 2 guys. Doggone it. You hate that for anyone. I talked to Dan Battaglia for a good little while back there in the pit area, and you know, he calls a spade a spade. He knows what he knows. He is bringing a knife to a gunfight here, and he said, you know what? He said, we're just out here to turn some laps, he said, and get a little more seat time, and he said, hopefully have some fun, and certainly nothing fun about that, Ben.
Yeah, and I tell you what, man, that's tough for Grabowski. He's a guy that you put him in a stock car, modified, he's going to be a contender. 5 national championships in the IMCA modified. He's got 1 in the stock car, and a tough. You just hope they can get it fixed, as you said. Also want to touch on Clay Stuckey running back and forth. His brother Jared, and I tell you what, Jared's had quite the year, man. He's been through a lot of health issues. That family was really dug in, and it's good to see Jared out of the hospital. Still's got a long way to go, but they did put a left ventricle assist device in him, and he's battling a form of vasculitis, and he is a tough young man. The Stuckey family means so much to racing. It's great to see Clay out here on the road, but Jared, I know you're watching back home, brother. We can't wait to see you back with us, and just know the whole sport is behind you.
Amen.
Not about it, Ronnie and Terry Stuckey. By the way, Dan Battaglia, Outlaw Customs in Gretna. Local drivers, this is for Saturday night. I don't know if you have to live in Nebraska or how it is. He's given $500 to the top finishing local driver and then $250 to the second and third highest finisher from the area. So thanks to Dan Battaglia at Outlaw Customs there in Gretna, Nebraska, just off of I-80.
That's cool.
Yeah, hopefully just some cosmetic damage there on the front. Hopefully didn't get into the front clip or anything like that. There you see Pospisil back out of the Heartbeat Hot Sauce Hot Pit. Dan Battaglia.
It's a hard hit, man.
I thought maybe Grabowski had gotten into the wall, but as you saw on the replay, on the Dave Warren Power Sports replay, did not. It just back there in the back straightaway, Pospisil, Grabowski, and Battaglia. Hopefully Dan will be ready to go.
They very candidly only caught the very end of it, and at that end, I saw Grabowski's car up in the outside wall, and as Ben mentioned, that's a tough break for him, man. A guy that is really and truly spectacular at what he does. 10 wins already this year for Jordan Grabowski. As you see the mangled number 45 of Gretna, Nebraska's Dan Battaglia there on your screen. We did get one lap in, so one lap is scored. 7 laps remaining here in Coolett Thermotech Heat Race number 3. Again, top 4 advance. Right now, it's Garrett Alberson, Brandon Overton, Ricky Thornton Jr., and Clay Stuckey in that final transfer spot.
Yeah, again, looking forward to next Saturday afternoon, Hellraiser Jack's Pit Crew Challenge again. It's going to be the 18 drivers locked in. They will have the option to do that. By the way, it was a $2,000 to win for a team, and then the best appearing team, DJ, going to get an extra $1,000. So we go to Nutrient X Solutions Restart Zone. 1 down, 7 to go here at heat number 3.
And Garrett Alberson is at the front of the field. Look at the restart RTJ gets on the very high side of the racetrack. He's going to march into the second spot as he goes around the 76 of Brandon Overton. He'll now tuck back down to the inside of the speedway. In lap number 2, Alberson leads. Ricky Thornton Jr. up to second.
How about Sam Mars? Sammy running in that 4th spot battle. Here comes Stuckey back. Good race there between a pair of young up-and-coming drivers. As they try to go side by side, Stuckey still has the spot. Alberson out in front. Remember, he ran so well here last year, got involved, there was a tangle there towards the latter part of the race last year. Cost him a good finish. The track record holder right now, about 4 car lengths lead over Ricky Thornton Jr. It's Thornton all the time, right? But right now, he runs in second.
It's Alberson all the time right now.
They've got to be related somehow, but they're not.
Ricky Thornton Jr. and Garrett Alberson?
No, Ricky Thornton Jr., Dylan Thornton.
Oh, boy, you lost me on that one.
Rick and Tanya's son.
Yes. Well, I mean, to be fair, I mean,
it's like the Gustins. I mean, they're all related, though, aren't they?
Oh, hey, listen, you have to ask Ben about the conversation Janae had with me last night. She was questioning why she's not farther up the ladder in my favorite Gustin list. Although after watching Ryan's son Braden Gustin run last night, he may be 1 or 2 now. Barron's Performance 1 to go. James flags that final time around for Garrett Alberson.
Well, right now, Hudson O'Neill on the pole. Garrett Alberson looking to start on the outside. Both looking for their first Lucas Oil win of the year. Off at turn 4, pending the UNO8 skills. Garrett Alberson, your heat number 3 winner here tonight.
Ricky Thornton Jr. second, Brandon over to the third, and Clay Stuckey does grab that final transfer ahead of Sammy Mars. Dylan McCallum and Tad Pospisil rounding out the field. Jordan Grabowski will be credited with 8th and Dan Battaglia 9th. So Stuckey 4th, Brandon Overton 3rd, Ricky Thornton Jr. 2nd, and there is your winner in that Romer Machine and Welding, Low Voltage Solutions, Bill Sports Shop, Messiah Valley Transportation, Titan Racing Products, Snoker Race Fuels, Lucas Oil, Dickey's Doghouse, Cheap Cars, Kenneth Roberts Racing, Longhorn. The 58 out of Las Cruces, New Mexico is Garrett Alberson. So as he makes his way into the UNOH Tech and Scale area, let's go ahead and take a look at the starting lineup for Simpson Race Products Heat Race number 4.
On the pole will be Snowdrift. It'll be Blair Nodorf. He's out of Renner, South Dakota, the 76. And how about the starting spot tonight? He's 3rd in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Rookie of the Year chase. Dan Ebert out of Lakeshore, Minnesota in car 60.
This one's up for grabs here. Lincoln, North Carolina's Carson Ferguson inside row 2 in the 93. On his outside, out of Dawsonville, Georgia, the 79 is Donald McIntosh.
Row 3, Ben Sukup, Norfolk, Nebraska's in the Swartz car. And Dylan Silman, Alvo, Nebraska, in 35D alongside right.
And your final 3 starters, the Big Perm, Dalton Wilson in the Ratliff Racing 18D, the Al Humphrey 6J of Jake Neal from Omaha, and Michael Morton Jr. also from Omaha in the 71M. 9 cars, 8 laps, top 4 transfer, and Simpson Race Products heat number 4. But first, Ben Shelton is going to grab a work with the driver starting on the outside front row here tonight.
Garrett Alberson, last July you started on the pole. Bad luck though, you finished 11th. What have you got to do tonight if you're going to back up your track record with your first Eagle win?
Just got to make good decisions. That's always the name of the game. Car feels really good right there. Track's a little narrow. I'm thinking it'll widen out here eventually once that bottom really slows down. But no, I'm proud of my guys. They've been working hard.
They've been digging hard. It's in the cockpit. Garrett Alberson, his 7th Simpson Race Products Heat Race Win of the Year. He's going to start outside front row here tonight. And guys, I do think this racetrack is going to widen out. Right now they're chasing the moisture on the bottom, but they're going to burn that off, throw that crumb across the middle. I think it'll start to come in on what is a beautiful night here. And also, one to touch, the lights are starting to come on around Eagle Raceway. They had all new LED lights installed in the off season, and just a lot of improvements happening here at this absolutely beautiful facility in Eagle, Nebraska.
Roger Aiden, the promoter here, of course, a former, I don't know if he was a regular in the Have a Tampa series, by the way, back in the day in the 90s.
What car number?
Good question. I'd have to look that up. Ozzy Allman would know.
Yes, he would.
The voice of Have a Tampa for so many years. The Oz man. Hopefully he's doing well.
Watching tonight, absolutely.
All right, final heat of the night for the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. And how about this eclectic mix again? No Dorf, Ebert, McIntosh, Carson Ferguson, Sukup, Silman at the Nutrient Ag Solutions Start Zone. Top 4 to the A-Main here tonight.
Snowdrift going to blow through the Cornhusker State here today. He's out front early in this one. Dan Ebert, boy, I tell you what, he's been good, James. He just needs a little strand of good luck to follow. He's side by side for the 3rd spot. It's Donald McIntosh on the outside, Carson Ferguson on the inside. Look at D-Mac trying to get the high side rolling. Man, they got some whoop-de-doos up there, James.
You know what D-Mac told me? It reminded him of Tennessee, Crossville.
Oh, my.
Crossville,
yes.
Tennessee. Reminded him of that, the last year's Spring and Southern Nationals champion, his first full year in the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. 2nd in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Rookie of the Year chase. Again, that'll pay $20K, $18,000 in contingencies as we come off of turn 4 in Blair Nodorf.
Crossville would tick wider, right? I mean, in Crossville, you can run like 8 wide on that.
I love Crossville.
In the corners,
yep,
you know, that's
right.
Corners, man, they really widen out.
How about Ebert?
Look at Dan Ebert closing in as you got Snowdrift out front, the Minnesotan. Dan Ebert in 2nd, and here comes Carson Ferguson. Look at that left front, hooked right down there on the inside front of the racetrack. He'll work his way by Dan Ebert momentarily and grab that 2nd spot. Carson Ferguson moves up to 2nd. James this time by 3 laps to go.
There we go, Dolphin Rocket, Carson Ferguson, the Baylor Motorsports, Scott Fager, the crew chief on that car. Ebert runs in 3rd. McIntosh is 4th. This was last year was kind of bumpy for a while, then it smoothed out. So where the quarter panel go on Carson Ferguson's car. Holy cow, he's about to lose it, but down the back straightaway, 2 to go, as they'll go to the Barron's Performance, 1 lap to go, and it is all South Dakota. Blair Nodorf, 1 to go to start 4th tonight.
Barron's Performance, 1 lap to go, and he's got his quote-unquote biggest lead of the race, James, at a whopping 0.8 of a second. You see him fan out there down the back straightaway for the final time. The winner of Simpson Race Products Heat Race number 4 is going to be Snowdrift Blair Nodorf. 2nd will go to Carson Ferguson. Danny Ebert finishes 3rd, and Donald McIntosh will pick up that final transfer with the Big Perm, Dalton Wilson, Dylan Silman, Jake Neal, Ben Sukup, and Mike Morton Jr. on the outside looking in. So finishing in 4th, it's going to be Donald McIntosh. Finishing 3rd, it's going to be Dan Ebert. 2nd will go to Carson Ferguson, and the winner of Simpson Race Products Heat Race number 4 is going to be the 2-time and defending Tri-State Late Model Series champion out of Renner, South Dakota, and that Clements-powered rocket chassis, the Bargain Barn Tire Center, Asphalt Pros, Western Provisions, Grandpa Ben's Ranch, Glanzer Trucking, Howe, Plumbing, Heating and Cooling, Maloney Real Estate, sponsored number 76. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Snowdrift Blair Nodorf.
Blair Nodorf, his first Simpson Race Products Heat Race Win of the Year. He'll start 4th here tonight. As DJ said, 2-time defending Tri-State Late Model Series champion in car 76. So he'll make his way down. The South Dakota driver gets the win. Blair, how much did this team need this heat race win here tonight?
It meant a lot. It's a big confidence booster. We've been out of a supercar since Florida, so yeah, we're just keep digging and hope for the best.
Blair Nodorf, he's going to start 4th here tonight in car 76, guys. 2 first-time heat race winners here tonight on the year. And Thornton, who was an all-time first-time winner, and Nodorf, as you saw, getting that one.
Oh, you just saw the cornfields, and it's almost like Eldora. Cornfields and then a racetrack. Dan Taylor back on. We have got IMCA Modified Heat 1 on the track.
Rolling out on the pole out of Bates City, Missouri, will be the 96B of Cody Brill. To his outside from Beatrice, the 60 of Adam Armstrong. Row number 2 will see Ceresco's number 3 of Dan Jackson. To his outside, picked up a feature win at America's Home Track a couple of weeks ago, the 27 of Clint Holman out of Bellevue, Nebraska. Row number 3 from Idaho Falls, Idaho, will be the 12 of Reed Payne. To his outside, we saw him running some pretty fast times in hot laps from South Sioux City, Nebraska. It's the 25 of Ricky Steffen. Row number 4 will see your 2024 Eagle Raceway track champion and several-time feature winner already this year, the 5S, the Duke of Dorchester. That's Bob Zobek. To his outside out of Nebraska City, the 3J of Jeremy Baker. And rounding out the field from Ashland will be the 21T of Tyler Haar. Green flag is out. Heat race number 1 of 3. We'll do 10 total laps, and the top 5 will be moving on. Good start for the 96 of Cody Brill. He's going to have a big advantage as they're 2x2 coming out of turn number 4. Dan Jackson and Adam Armstrong going at it for the 2nd position. Armstrong's got it by a nose. Middle of turns 1 and 2, and now out of turn 2 and down the backstretch. Armstrong gets a good run. He's going to start to reel in the 96. He's going to take a shot into turn number 3. Whips that car sideways, gets some grip on the exit at turn number 4. Your Beatrice native has got the race lead. Heat race number 1 of 3 in your Nebraska's best lawn and landscape. Tough break for Bob Zobek. I must have given him too much credit. Your 2024 track champion has some issues. He's going to pull it off the racetrack and call it a heat race. Meanwhile, Adam Armstrong, 7 laps left to go, starting to pull away from the 96B of Cody Brill. Big gap there down the backstretch for Armstrong. Adam Armstrong, Sport Mod competitor, now moving up into the modifieds. This may be the perfect weekend for him. He is going to starting to really get a feel for this modified. Taking a look at your other screen. Oh no, car goes around. Tyler Haar right in front of the back of the pack. Couldn't see if he got any help. And that's going to bring out our first caution flag, and we're going to slow things down. Haar able to get it refired. The 21T of Tyler Haar. Here comes your replay. Good shot there going into turn number 1. And yep, just a little too hard. We've seen that a lot this year. The track redesign in the off season has made it a little bit slicker getting into the corner. And we saw it again last year with some of the redesign that Roger Hayden did on the track. Always tweaking on it and just kind of giving these drivers a little bit of something a little different every year, so it's not the same exact track. Single file restart with 6 laps left to go. Adam Armstrong, Cody Brill, Clint Holman, and Dan Jackson are your top 4 cars right now. Reed Payne in 5th. He is your 5th and final transfer. Little Rubbins Racing coming out of turn number 4. Dan Jackson and Reed Payne getting together, but we're able to stay clean and green. Holman reeling in on Cody Brill. Clinton Holman in that blue number 27. Brill, little hard into turn 4. He's going to wash up the racetrack, and that'll open the door. Clint Holman will take over the 2nd spot. Reed Payne up the racetrack. Racer Ricky Steffen dives underneath. Good crossover move from Steffen. Now he's going to go back to the outside. Steffen on the high side of turns 3 and 4. Fighting off the 3J. Of Baker. Good side-by-side battle now down the backstretch into turn number 3. Cody Thompson, Ricky Steffen, excuse me. That was a blast from about 10 years ago. Reed Payne going at it. Now it's a 3-car dance. Dan Jackson's going to be under fire. Ricky Steffen is going to take over the 4th spot from Jackson. Jeremy Baker trying to follow him through. Reed Payne having a tough time getting around the 3. 2 laps left to go. Adam Armstrong with a commanding lead. And that battle continues between Dan Jackson and Jeremy Baker. Jackson's got the final transfer spot. White flag has waved for Adam Armstrong. Battle for the final transfer spot again down the backstretch. Dan Jackson, good run out of turn number 2. He's going to pull away from Baker and Payne. Hard into the corner. Adam Armstrong is going to get the win. He'll hold off Clint Homan on a hard charge. So Adam Armstrong, Clint Homan, your top 2. Then it was Cody Brill, Ricky Steffen, and Dan Jackson, your top 5 cars that are moving on to heat race to the feature action later tonight. Reed Payne, Jeremy Baker, Tyler Haar, and Bob Zobek. And we saw Bob Zobek have issues at the beginning of the heat race. They're going to have to come out of the B feature. All good for the 60 of Adam Armstrong coming down to Beatrice. Good run for the rookie in the modified class. Moving on to heat race number 2 out of Nebraska City. He's in the 40 machine known as the Shark. It's Sean Harker. He'll be on the pole position. To his outside in the 1Z, it's Norman Ziegemein out of Lincoln. Row number 2, we'll see Omaha's Cameron Thompson inside row number 2. To his outside, we'll see Lincoln's 13J of Jared Dieterding. Row number 3, to the inside, it's the 1 of Josh Most out of Red Oak. To his outside, Adam Wasserman in the 41A out of Fairbury. Your final row, we'll see Jackson Sadoff out of Beatrice. He's in the number 96 machine. To his outside, your 2022 Eagle Raceway track champion and picked up a feature win a couple of weeks ago. It is the 81 of Mike Densberger. Mike Densberger coming out of Lincoln. Once again, top 5 are going to be moving on to your A feature action. Everybody else going to have to battle out of the B. Big thanks to Nebraska's Best Lawn and Landscape for presenting the modifieds in 2025. If you got commercial property or residential property, don't waste your time doing it on your own. Let Nebraska's Best Lawn and Landscape take care of it. They also do snow removal, which is a little bit, I know snow this time of year is a little bit of a curse word, so I apologize, just throwing that out there. Here we go, green flag coming out. Sean Harker picked up a couple feature wins last year in that 40 machine in the modifieds. He's into year number 3, I believe, in the modified division. Good start for him. Norm Ziegenbein running in the 2nd spot. Cameron Thompson, one of the rookies in this division, getting that modified underneath of him in the top 3. So Sean Harker, Norm Ziegenbein, Cameron Thompson, Josh Most, and Jared Dieterding. That's your top 5 right now. No change, top 5. Jackson Sadoff, has moved into that 5th position. Jackson Sadoff in the 96 machine, son of the legendary Johnny the Jet Sadoff. Oh, car goes around. Adam Wasserman all by himself. He's going to stay in the throttle and try to get it off the racetrack. He does. Will stay green. No, caution came out. Caden Murray didn't like it. Threw the caution flag, so we're going to slow things down. Adam Wasserman in the 41A.
Keep an eye on the 96 of Jackson Sadoff. That is a brand new chassis. Never seen the track until tonight.
Thank you very much, PJ Pedersen, our man of the pits, as always. So Adam Wasserman in that 41 machine bringing out the caution. We will stack it back up and go back at it again. 7 laps remain when we go back to green flag action. Keep an eye on that 41 machine. Might be able to make his way up through the field. Also keeping an eye on that 81 of Mike Densberger. He's kind of a late bloomer in the races. Kind of bides his time, lets things happen, and then starts to make his way forward as the laps start to count down. So keep an eye back in the field of the 81 machine. Here we go, field is formed up. Sean Harker, Josh Most, Norm Ziegenbein, Cameron Thompson, and Jackson Sadoff. That's your 5 transfers right now. Green flag is out. 7 laps to go. Heat race number 2 of 3. Oh, big push for the 1 of Josh Most. That's going to open the door for Norm Ziegenbein. Ziegenbein's going to dive underneath, and we got a car around the 13J of Jared Dieterding. He is off the track. Looks like we're going to stay green. Sean Harker, Norm Ziegenbein, Josh Most, Cameron Thompson, Josh Most and Norm Ziegenbein going at it. Ziegenbein In the darker number 1Z, Josh Most running right behind him in the number 1 machine out of Red Oak. Oh, Most might have caught the turn 4 wall. He comes down and makes contact with Mike Densberger, and around goes Ziegemeier right in front of the field. Watch out, Sadoff. I think PJ may have cursed him with that brand new chassis. Caution's gonna wave. We're gonna slow things down. Didn't look like too hard of contact between the 96 and the 1Z of Norm Ziegemeier and Jackson Sadoff.
Heavy damage to the right side of the 96. Looks like the sail panel is completely gone on the right side.
PJ, can you see any other mechanical damage, or is it just sheet metal damage?
From the angle I'm seeing, it looks like it's just sheet metal, but it's on the grandstand side, so of course you'd probably be able to see it a little bit better.
Well, we will keep an eye on that. Sean Harker, your race leader. Cameron Thompson up into the 2nd spot. Josh Most, Mike Densberger, and Adam Wasserman bringing out our first caution has made his way up into the top 5. Jackson Sadoff, first car outside looking in. Good battle between Josh Most and Cameron Thompson. Thompson down around the low side. Most is gonna follow him through. Harker's gonna pull away. 2 laps left to go. Excuse me, 3 laps left to go. Flagman Caden Murray giving him the signal of 3 to go. I think our lap counter is off just a skosh. Good battle back in the field. Mike Densberger, Cameron Thompson. So Sean Harker is going to come out of turn number 4. He'll get the now 2 to go. If anybody listens to Eagle Raceway Weekly, I have a fervent fight with that scoreboard. It is constantly lying to me. Sean Harker getting the signal of 2 to go. Good battle back in the field for the final transfer spot. Jackson Sadoff has made his way up into the 2nd spot as the white flag waves. Cameron Thompson in 3rd, Mike Densberger 4th, and Adam Wasserman getting around Jared Dieterding, trying to hold off Jared Dieterding. Dieterding in the 13J. Down around the low side, out of turn 4, Sean Harker is gonna get the win. Followed by Cameron Thompson, Mike Densberger in 3rd, Adam Wasserman in 4th, and I believe Jared Dieterding may have gotten that final transfer spot. Don't quote me though. Heat race number 2 of 3 in the books. We're going to move on to that 3rd and final heat race. As Sean Harker getting the thumbs up from the scales. He's all set to go. Heat race number 1, or heat race number 2 winner, the Shark of Sean Harker. And I believe PJ is going to have a conversation with our winner of heat race number 2.
Sean Harker, winner of heat race number 2. How was that run? Car's real good. It's in pretty good shape right now. We're gonna have a good track for the 8 features tonight. What do you gotta do to get even a little bit faster and try to park this thing in victory lane?
We're probably gonna tighten it up a little bit. Depends on, we'll see what the late models do to the track here before, they run before our 8 feature, so we'll pay attention to that.
All right, that is Sean the Shark Harker, winner of heat number 2. Dan, back to you.
Heat race number 3, moving out onto the racetrack. Now we're seeing the dad of Cameron Thompson on the pole position out of Fremont. That is the 3T of Nate Thompson. To his outside out of Ashland, the 21 of Tracy Haar. Row number 2 to the inside out of Columbus, the 60, the 4th. That is Anthony Roth. And to his outside, your 2023 track champion coming to you from God's country, Fort Calhoun, Nebraska. It's the 8C of Chad Anderson. Row number 3 to the inside out of Beatrice. It's the 5H of Sean Hine. To his outside from North Platte, Nebraska, making his Eagle Raceway debut in 2025. It's the 74 of Dwayne Coleman. In your final row will be Dustin Anderson in the 8A and Brandon Verbeek in the 4B. Green flag is out. Thompson with a good start down around the low side. Anthony Roth already digging and making up positions. He's up to 2nd in the first set of corners down the backstretch. He's going to set the 3T and Nate Thompson up. He'll dive down underneath, digging that frame rail down into the ground. Anthony Roth now working the high side of turns 1 and 2. Chad Anderson's making his way up into that 3rd position. Get top 5 moving on in your final heat race of your Nebraska's best Lawn and Landscapes, we're watching the battle for the race lead. Nate Thompson doing well on the low side. Anthony Roth trying to rip the lip and steal that lead position away from the 3T. Nate Thompson picked up our stock car track championship a few years ago. Been running double duty the last couple of years in the modifieds and stock cars. Still top 3, no change. Everybody's trying some different angles and lines. Battle for the transfer spot. Haar's got it. Dustin Anderson making his 2025 debut. I think he just got sick and tired of watching his brother win, so he decided to get his modified out and come race and show what he can do. He's trying to find that final transfer spot, but he's got to get around the 21 of Haar. Meanwhile, 5 laps left to go. Roth, a little bit of a push. Turns 1 and 2, drifts up the racetrack. He's closing in on Thompson, though. Hard into turn 3. You got a battle for the race lead. Roth's going to rip that lip and get a good run down the front stretch. He'll take the spot away at the line. Anthony Roth to the point, and he'll solidify it out of turn number 2. Nate Thompson back to second. Chad Anderson in third. 3 laps left to go. Nate Thompson, once again, trying underneath to get that lead spot back from the 60 to the 4th. Anthony Roth kisses that cushion on the exit of turn number 2. Good battle for 4th. Brandon Verbeek and the 4B machines got it. Tracy Haar wants it. Haar again in the transfer spot in 5th. He's got to be careful. Too hard into turn 1. That opened the door for Dustin Anderson. Meanwhile, Cade Murray's got the white flag out. Final time in heat race number 3 and final for your Nebraska's best lawn and landscape modifieds. Roth, Thompson, Anderson, Verbeek, and Anderson. We're looking again, Verbeek, and then it's Haar. Dustin Anderson trying to steal the final transfer spot on the final set of corners as Anthony Roth is going to get the win. And Haar will hold on to that final transfer spot. So as they finish heat race number 3, Anthony Roth in the 60 to the 4th picks up the win. Nate Thompson in 2nd. Chad Anderson in 3rd. Brandon Verbeek in 4th. And Tracy Haar, your 5th and final transfer. Dustin Anderson, Dwayne Coleman, and Sean Hine will all have to come out of the B feature. That's going to do it for your modified division in America's home track.
How about that, Dan? 3 heats right like that for the IMCA.
He get it done quick.
I know. I like it. I like it a lot. 2 B mains for the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series up next. But first, PJ, my man, grab a word with Anthony Roth.
Yeah, he's just getting his helmet off right now in the Razor chassis, number 60 IV. Anthony, heat race win, but man, you had to work at that one.
Yeah, I did. The car just wasn't on my side there. I just kind of drove through it and made the best I could.
What do you think you're going to make changes to get this thing better in the feature?
Get the nose out of the ground a little bit, and man, it's just really darty, so maybe take a little bit of drive out.
All right, that's Heat 3 winner, Stone Cold Anthony Roth. Let's send it back up to James Essex and Dustin Jarrett with 2 B mains in your Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series.
All right, James. That means it is time for the first of 2 B mains for the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. UNOH B main number 1. Making its way on the track, it will be 10 laps in distance. Top 3 will transfer your pole sitter out of Decorah, Iowa. In the 16, it's going to be Tyler Bruning on his outside. From Earlham, Iowa, the 22 is Daniel Hilsebeck.
Row number 2 will be Chase Younghans out of Manhattan, Kansas. Colin Weinbarger in his Lucas Oil debut tonight. He's out of Corbett, Oregon, not Arkansas. We'll be there in August. He's in 14S.
Close, very close. Go ahead with row 3.
How about Spencer Hughes? He's out of Mississippi. MISSISSIPPI. And
very good.
Ian Whistler from the home of the Oregon Ducks. Not Otis. It's not Eugene, Oregon, but it's Otis, Oregon, 28W.
Dusty Leonard out of Kansas in the 7D. Tyler Erb's got to come from 8th in the 1T. Jesse Sobbing, Junior Cooper, and Jarrett Geschman. Rounding out the field, if everyone is there, but we're going to have 11 of them rolling for 10 laps. Once again, top 3 race their way into the show. We'll look at provisionals from there. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 of the 11. Tyler Bruning, Daniel Hilsebeck lead them into the Newton React Solutions starting zone. Green flags out.
Tyler Bruning, the golden beard, Hilsebeck up top. Right now in provisionals, 8. I believe, yeah, we've only got 4.
Oh.
Still to get in, that would be Wilson. Only 3.
No.
Oh, man, look out. And the Coleman Farms caution is out before we get a lap in.
Yeah, Daniel Hilsebeck went into a 4-wheel free slide over there in turns 3 and 4. And that just bottled everyone up behind him. And Spencer Hughes may have got the worst end of that, as the Causeyville, Mississippi driver going to slow down there to the attention of Zachary Booker.
So the only ones not yet in, Dalton Wilson, Daniel Hilsebeck, and Spencer Hughes are eligible with perfect attendance. Hilsebeck right there leading the O'Reilly Auto Parts Rookie of the Year chase. In car 22, so it'll be a complete restart, more than one car involved. Hilsebeck's been impressive, right? First full year in the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, former MLRA regular.
Absolutely.
And leading that $20,000 to win. That is a dirt late model record. Again, $18,000 in contingencies.
Thought that we might see him, Ben and I might see him at Marshalltown at FloRacing Night in America, Earlham, just west of Des Moines, right there off I-80. But he said, Daniel said, you know what? He said, we're really trying to put a lot of focus into this Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series chase, and more specifically, the O'Reilly Auto Parts Rookie of the Year chase, because it does pay $20,000 to win.
He was not at Maquoketa nor 34 Raceway on the Lucas Oil weekends, but he'll be at 34 coming up here in July. Tyler Bruning, the 93rd driver to ever win a Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series race over the last 21 years. As we go with the Nutrien Solutions start zone, we are underway in this 10-lap first of 2 B mains here tonight.
And you called it, James. That was a get-out-of-jail free pass for Daniel Hilsebeck. Oh, man, there's a pair of Oregon drivers, as Ben would say, Oregon on Oregon violence right there, with Ian Whistler in the 28, Colin Weinbarger in the 14S, and somehow they don't wreck, and somehow we stay green.
Good battle up front. Bruning and Hilsebeck has that outside. Young Hands runs in third, and they come off of turn 4. We've got a Coleman Farms Racing caution. Now, apparently there's a car right here on the main straightaway, the 28 car, right?
Yeah, Ian Whistler caught the concrete off the off turn 4, rode it down the front straightaway. He's going to limp that car to the Heartbeat Hot Sauce hot pit. It's hard to believe there's not going to be a bit spindle or lower upper on that 28, but he's going to head back. We'll see if he can make his way back out. But some beating and banging, as you said it, DJ, a couple of Oregonians. Did I just invent a word? Maybe. I don't know. They were going at it back there between he and Weinbarger, and you got to think maybe something bent on the front end of the 28 car for the Otis Oregon driver, Whistler.
Boy, tough night so far for that Whistler camp, right? I mean, Jordan Grabowski had issues in his heat race. He got caught up in an accident, and now Jimmy, play it again, Ian Whistler, not Jimmy, it was Ian Whistler, not Eston either.
To be fair, he's in Jimmy's car. Usually Ian's 82, Eston's 82, but tonight they're in Jimmy's car, or at least Ian is.
Oregon in the Big Ten now, right? So it's like hard to believe, right?
Yes.
Oh, the NBA playoff's still going. How about the Pacers?
Is that still a thing? I mean, here we go, back underway. One lap school.
We're in college basketball. All right, here we go. We're back. Tyler,
we're back. We're so back.
Jason Fromwell in his Hawkeyes hat the other night. So good, so good. Young Hands on the bottom. He's out of Manhattan, Kansas, home of Kansas State. The Wildcats in second. Hilsebeck to the outside. Widening out, as you said. Here comes Spencer Hughes. Down the back straightaway. Hughes would be eligible for a provisional here tonight, but he would be third right now. If Hilsebeck can make it in, Hughes would get a regular provisional. In an emergency, the only start money you get is white racing past the start money. How about Colin Weinbarger in that 14S car?
side by side. That is the battle for the final transfer, by the way. James Hilsebeck had it last time by at the line. Give it to Colin Weinbarger. This time by is Hilsebeck trying to get that momentum built back up on the outside of the racetrack. This time by, there'll be 5 laps in the books, 5 laps remaining as Hilsebeck bounces through turn 3 and 4. Weinbarger washes back up in front of him, and he remains in the final transfer as Young Hands has closed the gap on your race leader, Tyler Bruning.
Dalton Wilson, he's coming up in that second B main, not yet in, so Hilsebeck and Hughes right now on the outside looking in. As they come out of turn number 2, it's all Tyler Bruning, 6 down and 4 to go for the Infinity by Wells Clements powered entry for Greg Bruning, who saw him earlier this afternoon. Skyline Motorsports. Meanwhile, Young Hands got a racer lead developing here as we'll have 2 to go coming up.
Yeah, Tyler Bruning, and just as you say that, Bruning ducks back down to the bottom of the racetrack, down in turns 3 and 4, 2 laps to go. Here in UNOHB main number 1, Bruning now back to the top side in 1 and 2. Here comes Chase Younghands down to the inside. Bruning gets that run down the back straightaway, back down to the bottom. Barron's Performance 1 to go for the Decorah Iowa driver, and the 18 is there.
Weinbarger in that 3rd spot, final lap of the first of 2 B mains out at 2. Bruning hanging on, trying to lead wire to wire in the Infinity by Wells for his father, Greg Bruning, and he will, pending the UNOH scales out of turn 4, DJ.
Tyler Bruning gets the win. Chase Younghands second, and Colin Weinbarger races his way into his first Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series main event. Daniel Hilsebeck, Tyler Erb, Spencer Hughes, Jesse Sobbing on the outside looking in. So Weinbarger third, Younghands second, Tyler Bruning going to be your winner. University of Northwestern Ohio, B main number 1, the Skyline Motorsports Quick Supply, Olson Explosive from Sea Valley Transportation, Bruning Rock Products, Can-Am Auto Salvage, Truck Country, Brown's Heavy Equipment sponsored Infinity for the golden beard of Tyler Bruning.
And guys, we're watching the track kind of go through a transformation. We saw down in 1 and 2, don't get me wrong, some guys are on the bottom, but some guys have headed to the top down in 1 and 2. We saw Bruning doing it. Meanwhile, in 3 and 4, though, the bottom's the place to be. If you go to the cushion, you better be ready to cowboy up, as it is very treacherous on the cushion. Sun is setting here, though. That could change some things as the racetrack widens out. It's got a lot of character here tonight. And hey, $10,000 on the line later. This feature's going to be fun.
All right, Ben, thanks a lot. James, we get to do it again.
We do. B main number 2 brought to you by UNOH, the fine folks at the University of Northwestern.
Let's call it Fast Shafts B main 2 because I messed up. I have not announced with you in the booth.
Well, it's Fast Shafts B main 1, so okay.
Well, no, but I called it UNOH B main 1.
Okay.
It's been a while.
I was dyslexic for a moment. How about
been a
Sam Mars?
I can read.
Sam Mars, Menominee. I love saying Menominee, Wisconsin. Dalton Wilson, Fayetteville, North Carolina, the 18D. That's all right.
That's right. We're good. Dylan McCowan. Did you get Dalton Wilson? Outside.
I got the big perm.
Dylan McCowan inside row 2 out of Urbana, Missouri, and on his outside of Alvo, Nebraska in the 35D. That's Dylan Silman.
How about Tad Pospisil? He's out of Norfolk, Nebraska, the 04. Jake Neal, Jake from Omaha in the Humphrey Racing 6J alongside.
Not State Farm. Jake from Omaha, 4th row back on the inside of Beatrice, Nebraska. Is going to be Jordan Grabowski if he's able to make it in the 30, and Ben Sukup in the 07.
Dan Battaglia, let's see if he makes the call in 45.
Hello.
Wind gust through the trailer. Michael Morton, he's out of Omaha in 71H.
Yes, all right. Second UNOH and Fast Shafts B main on the track. James, 8 of them going to answer the call. We'll still go 10 laps. Top 3 transfers. Sammy Mars and Dalton Wilson lead them to the green.
Sammy Mars at Indy Customs for his father and uncle. Jimmy and Chris out at 2. Again, the top 3 advance. The rest are done for line unless they have a provisional. Dalton Wilson would. If Wilson makes it in, it would be Hilsebeck and Hughes as the regular provisionals.
Dalton Wilson out front in this one. Look at the 35. Do you Dylan Silman get that run up on the high side? James Dylan Silman trying to transfer in. It's Dylan on Dylan violence back here for that 3rd spot. Here comes Dylan McCowan. Here comes, is that Tad Pospisil? Yes, it is on the inside of the 04.
That white 04 out of 2. Here comes the 6 car. The Humphrey entry for Jake Neal. He was so good at I-80, wasn't he? And back in the day, here they come down the main straightaway. Dylan Silman, his first time with the Lucas Oil Series last year here at Eagle. Here comes Dylan McCowan, the Sonic Drive-In number 8. In the top 3 advance, Silman has the 2nd spot. Right now, it is all Dalton Wilson to main straightaway. In the 18D, good lead right now to 2.
Yeah, that is the battle for second, third, and fourth on your screen. Only the top 3 transfer. Sammy Mars to the inside, Dylan McCallum run to the outside. Mars had it last time by. Dylan McCallum roll it on the top side, put the 8 into the final transfer, 3 to go.
Out of 1 and 2, as Ben said, that 1 and 2 working good up top. They get down low in 3 and 4. 2 laps remaining for Dalton Wilson. Good battle here. Off at turn 4. Now Sammy Mars into the spot. Sammy Mars trying that inside to McCowan. Down the back straightaway. The head of the Barron's Performance. 1 lap to go. Off at turn 4. It is Dalton Wilson. Now he's got pressure. How about Dylan Silman and Dylan McCowan?
All Dylan all the time.
Dylan Thornton's in the show.
Yes. Dylan, but Dalton up front as they come across the checker flag. It's going to be the big perm. Dalton Wilson getting the win. Second's going to go to Dylan Silman, and Dylan McCowan will finish in the final transfer, followed by Sam Mars, Tad Pospischel, Jake Neal, Ben Sukup, Michael Morton will round out the field in 8th. Grabowski Battaglia did not start, and that is a wrap on our Fast Shafts University of Northwestern Ohio B main tonight. Dylan McCowan 3rd, Dylan Silman 2nd, Dalton Wilson out of Fayetteville, North Carolina, going to get the win.
Dylan Scott may be here somewhere.
Could be watching that Ratliff Racing, MGL Auto Sales, JR Motor Sales, Keltner Contracting, ICS, The Auto Outlet, Grant Lee Farms, B&L Construction, Big Al's Guns and Outdoors, sponsored number 18D. And just like that, all Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series prelims are wrapped up here tonight. Well, they got a B main for the IMCA Modifieds. That's going to come up here in just a few minutes. They are going to go out and do just a little bit of work on this racetrack. So if you are here on the grounds, an opportunity to stand up, stretch your legs, use the restroom, make sure you visit the concession stands, as well as the vendors area. James, a lot of vendors here this weekend at Eagle, Nebraska on Vendors Row behind the main grandstands. And if you are in this area, maybe one of the only opportunities that you are going to get some souvenirs from some of your favorite cars and drivers. So stop down there and visit them. Get some Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series merchandise as well. We are going to step aside for a few minutes. You are watching the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series presented by FloRacing here at Eagle Raceway.
We're the leader in race fuels. We've been doing this since in the 60s.
We use our distillation tower, which is unique. No other race fuel companies do that in the world. We also test every single batch that goes out the door on over 15 different parameters that ensure the tune-up will be identical